Everybody always looks forward, so let's look forward. Errol Spence, possibly Mikey Garcia. Errol Spence is behind me here somewhere.
Hey, I know they all here tonight. Hello, sir. I know they all here tonight. And I'm good. The same way that you called out Danny Garcia, I'm calling you out. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it on. You got the WC belt, I got the IBF belt. We can unify. We good friends. I love you, Daddy. But let's get it on. Hey, guess what, y'all? This is going to be the easiest fight to make in boxing right here.
What is your assessment of what you saw here of Shawn Porter?
I mean, Shawn Porter did what he always do. Shawn Porter, he came forward, you know, he was aggressive, and he came to fight like he always do. And his dad got him ready with Barry Hunter. But like I said, I feel like I'm the best welterweight in the division, and I want this fight. I'm the IBF champion of the world. I'm a Spence Jr. I'm the truth. And I guarantee you, I'm going to come home with the WC belt and be the unified champion.
And would you like this fight next?
I definitely like that fight next. I love that fight for next year.
Everybody all.
Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
ThaBoxingvoice.com. What broke him down? Was it just the body punching? I was hitting him with body punching. I heard him actually, he was crying in there. You were saying that Biggs was crying when you hit him? Yes. When did that happen? And perhaps the fourth round on. ThaBoxingvoice.com. So that you knew you had him by that time. Absolutely, I knew he was tough and taking those punches.
Productions.
Making women justice like, oh.
Let's go check.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio, an on-time edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. It's been a long time since we've been on time, but I guess it has to do with all the action that took place yesterday, from the welterweights to the heavyweights to streams to premium networks. We had a lot of boxing. So if you're just jumping into the stream, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button because it helps with the visibility of the show. Plus, you want to go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit that notification bell. And first and foremost, we got a few announcements. Obviously, September 14th, 15th, we're going to be live in Las Vegas, courtesy of Chivas Regal, the liquor company. Obviously, some a very nice blended Scotch whiskey that we will be giving you guys absolutely free from Beer House. Couple of feet, maybe 100 feet away from the T-Mobile Arena, where Saul Canelo Alvarez and Triple G will be having their rematch. TBV will be live on stage with multiple celebrity fighters, trainers, giving away TBV swag, Chivas swag, Triple G swag, a little bit of Canelo, a little bit of everything. So definitely join us for a pre-weigh-in show from Beer House, then a post-reaction weigh-in show after, to get your thoughts on how these fighters looked when they got off the scale, and obviously a pre-fight hype show Saturday before the fight goes live. So don't forget to tune in. And for those that can't join us, we'll be doing 3-camera live streams, so don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel right here at youtube.com/The Boxing Voice. Now, we have a ton of boxing to talk to, so let me get to it. On the docket, obviously, Garcia versus Porter and Adam Kownacki versus Charles Martin. We got Amir Khan and his victorious win over Samuel knocked him down Vargas. And I don't know, there's huge ratings. I guess it's on Sky, because on DAZN's Facebook page, not so huge. Crawford, Spence, Twitter beef spilling over and over all over the social media. And we obviously cannot forget a couple of other things out there, like Amir Mansour, man. The poor guy was out there and maybe in Russia trying to get a win. Didn't go his way. Eggington also gets destroyed. Hank Lundy, another guy that I think lost in Russia. I know he lost. I'm just not sure about the place. I believe it's Russia. And we'll talk about my guest appearance on Sirius XM on Friday night and the ESPN Plus card. But I think I'm most excited to talk about Errol Spence and just his crashing of the post-fight interview of, Garcia and Porter in Porter fashion, or as Ken likes to say, in the Porter way, right? He took to the ring and grabbed the mic from Jim Gray, and as you heard the audio, let the world know what he wanted and when he wanted it. And then we had Terrence Crawford react to all the, I guess, the verbal attack that Errol Spence put on Crawford throughout the post-fight, press conference for the Garcia Porter. But yeah, man, I mean, a lot to talk about. So let me get on out to my co-host and get this thing started, because there are a lot of us. So we're going to be here for a while.
I speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. I can't say it enough. I speak it, believe it.
2 attempts, handed bands over. Sicko hit, shot and miss. 2 to stand over.
Turn up.
Breadwinner, huh? Look who in the building. Let me check my Instagram. I might be at 1 million.
And I'm in.
BoxingVoice.com.
Yo, what's going on, TB family? We back with another one. It's Sunday. It's Crow Day. It's the flagship. Garcia Porter. Oh, what a fight last night. I just got done watching it again. It was a nice little fight right there. I thought we was going to see a little bit more suspense, a little bit more action, but it was a good enough fight how it was. Martin and Kownacki. Woo, talk about heavyweight barn burner. Those guys went at it for a whole 10 rounds, maybe even 12. I can't remember, but it was a good fight. Amir Khan, same old Amir. That chin looks like it's not going to hold up against anybody, but he does do big ratings on Sky, so I'm excited to see the support that was over there for him in the UK. HBO had a Super Fly 3 that I did not get to catch, so I hopefully Ron can get me up to speed on that. Crawford and Spence. We all love it, don't we? We all hear it. We all see all the Twitter posts and the YouTube videos and the post fight press conferences. This is all building up for a great fight down the road. But I see Rob getting kind of irritated, so I'm going to pass it on to him.
And the main thing we cannot forget is I am the unified heavyweight champion of the world.
Dylan White, Derek Chisora, Big Baby Miller, Joe Joyce, you can all have it, Dominic Brisbane, whoever else is in America too. All of it.
BoxingVoice.com.
Yeah, welcome back, everybody. Good to be on the show. Got that link. I'm on. It's sort of a reasonable time of day. Well, just gone midnight over here, but nice to catch one. I know the Amir Khan immediate reaction wasn't too immediate, but Porter, Garcia, Amir Khan doing big numbers, and Mike said his chin didn't stand up, but it did. He got up and carried on and won every round. So we'll talk about that. Calling out Pacquiao, a whole bunch of other stuff. A couple of other co-hosts to get to. So let's throw it out there.
BoxingVoice.com.
I've been doing this. I ain't been up and fell off. I've been through the Lennox Lewis era, the Nassim Hamed era, the Sugar Shane Moses era, the Oscar De La Hoya era, Marquez Hunter era. I've been through all the eras, and I still been telling.
How much you talking? You do too much talking. The thing is this:
people want their subjective preference to be the objective reality.
HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing.
BoxingVoice.com.
All right, July 26, 2018. This happened.
It's too early, man.
Too early for that. Too early for that right now.
Oh, so all of a sudden, Danny Garcia and Shawn Porter are going to get newfound skills, huh, Ron?
No.
They're going to show us shit we didn't know from here until fight week.
There's intangibles, Ness.
Yeah, the intangibles. You guys don't want to get caught out.
They only exist in the shadow realm.
I'm just picking Porter. I'm going to say it right now. I'm picking Shawn Porter. Sure, things can change. I mean, if they don't look good in physique, then I can change it right before the fight. But I'm going to go with Shawn Porter early right now, just because of the fact that, we can talk why. But I just wanted to say, I'm not eating any crow today. Not at all.
Yo, you sure?
I want to beg to differ.
You sure
yesterday
doesn't show or hear me?
I'm not saying anybody else is eating crow. I'm saying I myself am enjoying this awesome free diet of no crow today on that Shawn Porter pick. But we got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. We got a whole bunch of fights. And yes, I did watch the Super Fly 3 fight as well as some other fights. So I'm gonna pass this on to my boy Danny.
I believe I was influenced by Nestor's Hispanic background.
So your brother's bound and gagged, and they've chained him to a chair. Won't you please come to Chicago?
What's going on, fellas? What's going on, TBV family? Mike Ness is hardly Hispanic, for the record. But some great fights yesterday from the ESPN Plus card that I was fortunate to watch at 4 a.m. because I'm still thrown off by the East Coast time. So I caught that from Australia. I caught Amir Khan. I caught Sam Eggington getting fucking egged on. I caught, the Showtime card. Shout out to Serrano, 6th Division World Champ. Fucking amazing. So we have a lot to talk about, and let's get to it.
Well, I mean, we're going to start with not Amir Khan, right? We're going to start with the Showtime card, obviously. I didn't even watch the HBO card. No time for those guys.
Trying to tell you, boy, that was trying to.
I'm not even going to get into, like, the politics of that card. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. It doesn't. Porter Garcia was more appealing to me,
More important, too.
Well, not, yeah, it was. Well, I don't know. See, because I don't know. I don't even know. I think Estrada was fighting. Isn't he a champion?
Estrada was fighting on it. He wasn't.
They're champions, but when you got Shawn Porter and Danny Garcia, two of the biggest names in the sport, HBO should never put a card on that day. But I'll digress.
True.
Anyway, wasn't champion, but we'll go into Showtime.
Oh, he wasn't either. Okay. Well, let's just go into Garcia Porter. That's what we're all here for, right? Because it's the welterweight division. It's the big division, and then obviously this fight produced what possibly is going to be a pay-per-view fight next with, Porter and Earl. Earl, as you heard from the post-fight, took to the ring, and he said as early as next year. Shawn said that this will be the easiest fight to make. So I'm looking forward to that. But in terms of the fight versus Garcia, very impressed with Porter's body work. What could I say? He gave Garcia a lot of angles. The feints bothered Garcia. Garcia's timing was on, though. Very, very impressed with the double left hook he caught Shawn with. He timed him well with certain jabs, but he just wasn't active enough, and that's what we always questioned, or we always feared would be the issue. Even when I was going to camp, it's like, are these sparring partners doing the job? We spoke about ironing, sharpening iron. I went to the field and consistently asked other trainers and fighters if they felt that the Angel Garcia way of doing things in camp was the correct way, just to get a gauge.
One thing that I liked about Shawn Porter in this fight, he used effective aggression. Even though he was like still coming towards Danny, he picked his spots where he wanted to come in and like get back out, come in and get back out. Kind of like changed the tempo up on Danny. Danny did land the cleaner shots.
Tempo, because you remember from the opening bell, he didn't come out. He was on the back foot, and we were all like, wait a minute, Danny's the one coming forward. So he definitely changed things. And you can hear from the post-fight press conference, he said that he felt he had Danny like in a mental game where if he had his hands up, Danny had his hands up. If he put his hands down, he felt Danny would put his hands down. I didn't really recognize that, but he was on one last night, and he felt he was in that in that chi. He had that chi going, that glow like Bruce Leroy, that he can see these things. And obviously, look, he was putting it together. And again, activity is really what did it. Now, it's funny because it's obviously another close fight for Danny Garcia, and you know how him and his father choose to take their stance when it's a close fight.
Don't say Danny though. His father chooses to take.
His father chooses to take a certain stance, but Danny does have a case. I remember, Mike, you brought up yesterday the punch stat numbers and the percentage of punches thrown and landed. So, the argument is there. Are you impressed with the activity of Porter or the clean work of Garcia? The issue is always going to be, I believe, that judges will always favor the Porter style. Because if you're outworking your opponent, you're making them uncomfortable, all that shows in body language. Am I right?
Absolutely. And one thing that shocked me about this fight is Danny was the physically bigger and stronger guy coming into the ring. So I don't think that if Danny would have worked up his output, he probably would have won that fight, because like Ness brought up, Shawn Porter threw almost 700 punches and Danny threw like 400 and 500, and they landed around the same amount. So that just goes to show that Porter was just more busier than Danny, and maybe they gave him the judges a decision. Because in my personal book, I had a 7-5 Porter, maybe 6-6 draw.
Yeah, you also gotta think ringside too. Like, they're not gonna see everything that you see. So depending on where they're sitting at, the type of aggression that was being presented in that exchange, that might be what they see. That person probably looked a little bit more effective in that little scuffle at times. So
yeah, and I think Danny won a few of the earlier rounds, and it was when Shawn wasn't sort of being his usual, what we expect from Shawn. But as soon as he started putting on that pressure, I think Danny found it harder to do. He likes to counter punch, but when someone's right up in your face and pressing more and throwing lot, well, like you say, whether it was accurate or effective, but it was doing the job. Volume kind of swarmed him, and Danny just seemed a little gun shy to me. I don't know.
Let me go ahead and get to one of our co-hosts that popped on here and bring him in.
What's up, man? Yeah, I just want to say I saw fight too.
Stay focused, stay working my jab. Boxing voice.
Listen, if he comes to fight, then I'm gonna do for him.
I saw fight too.
I think you accurate.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Enrique Church, you are listening to on ThaBoxingvoice.com. Yup, on the Boxing Voice podcast. I was at the live event yesterday, and I would say I went from co-star to star. You know what I'm saying? When I say I walked with my boo to the bathroom and saw Gervonta Davis walking his boo, he just immediately reached out his hand and dapped me up. I wasn't even going towards him. I didn't even recognize him. So that made me feel good and big-headed. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else recognized me and was like, yo, I know you from somewhere, right? Ain't you from the Boxing Voice? I was like, yeah, I am. He's like, what's your IG? Let's switch IGs. I'm like, yo, fight talk. He's like, oh, you were what's his name? The tall dude. Yes, indeed. The Boxing Voice. I mentioned that. So the place was electrifying. I saw the fight going Danny's way. I was rooting for him the first 2 rounds. But after that, like everybody else knows, there was no activity, no hands released. The crowd was saying, come on, Danny, come on, Danny. It was a pro Danny crowd. And that by the end of the night, it turned into the Toto versus the Matador, where they switched sides. It became a Porter crowd. Another thing that impressed me about the live event that I attended was that I thought Adrian Broner and the Charlo brothers had beef, but they were all sitting side by side, laughing, have a great ass time. Errol Spence, both Charlos, which we know they're in the same camp or from the same state. And then I saw Gervonta Davis, Adrian Broner, Keith Thurman, all of them side by side of freaking Andre Berto. So I was like, damn, what's all that activity going on down there? So yes, man, great time. I feel bad, but I'm still DSG, man. And then Charles Martin's fight, even though I won't say those are live, they're not the level of, Deontay Wilder or AJ, or I don't know about Tyson Fury yet, but they had the crowd on Raw. I don't know if it was televised, but that audience for that fight was lit the way that Travis Scott says it.
Was it a sold-out crowd, Enrique?
13,100.
Crowded. I don't know if it was sold out. It always looks like the Barclays looks equal to what it looked like yesterday.
13,100 was the exact number. So that's it looks good because that's what it's always looked like for Danny versus Paulie Malignaggi. Danny versus somebody always does 13. With Keith, he did 16 something, 16-3.
But Brooklyn shows up to fights like Brooklyn, Polish, Philly. You know what I'm saying? It's like that demographic is.
But he brings them in more. Remember, I think Deontay only did like 8,000 in the Barclays. Like Danny, Keith, and Porter, and that combination always rake in over than 13.
The Polish people were in that building.
Hell,
they say Adam sold over 1,000 tickets by himself.
Yep, the red and white is always there.
Red and white was deep.
You just need one more demographic, and you might get a sellout.
Would that
they got Rob? Well, I love it. I love it, Rob.
Yeah, it was a great night of fights, man. I was just
Enrique, after the fight was over with, how many fans in the arena that you were around thought Porter won or thought Garcia won? Was it split?
There was no argument who won. It was clear Danny lost. I was rooting for Danny, but I was like, yo, he's not doing much. And then come 11-12, it was still the same thing. So there were people yelling, come on, Danny, you lost. Or come on, Danny, let them go. Or Porter got this. Porter, I told you. You know, there were people who bet on Porter. And what
was your shorty saying?
We like I said, man, boxing is very racial. So it was like, yo, who gonna give the racial beat down that night? So of course she gonna choose for the black dude. I chose for the Spanish dude. So I guess my race caught the beat down,
It's just the way of life, baby. Just the way of life.
See, Mike got all excited about racial beatdowns.
I'm just trying to play. I'm just trying to play tennis. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be the token black guy.
Yo, you know what's funny though? I think historically the black fighter always beats the Latino fighter or gets robbed by the Latino fighter.
There we go. See, it's always race.
Like, look, Frankie, was it? Am I saying this right? I don't want, because Frankie Randall almost sounds like a singer, but isn't that the dude that got robbed to Julio Cesar Chavez?
I don't remember.
Right, somebody help me. Come on, man.
I don't know.
So slow down. You're just throwing too much.
But
Pernell
Frankie
Whitaker.
Robinson, boy, that sounds like a
Whitaker
goddamn singer from the 60s with a conch or something on his head.
Pernell Whitaker was the one that was robbed.
He got 2 fights with black fighters?
Who? Chavez? Chavez had a lot of fights.
I remember the Pernell Whitaker was the one that he stopped right at the end. Who did he stop? I don't remember the name.
The referee stopped it.
Someone did the referee.
No, that's Medrick Taylor.
Medrick Taylor. There we go.
That's what I'm here for, man.
Frankie Robinson.
I was
Frankie Randall.
Confused.
Hey, listen, at least
I got you, Ness. I'm
bringing some of that shit up. All right, so then look, Oscar, right?
Meldrick Taylor, someone in the chat.
Whose was Oscar?
That's what I said.
Oscar had either a controversial black fighter loss or a black fighter whooped his ass, like Bernard Hopkins. You know what I'm saying? Sugar Shane Mosley, right? So we keep moving. Floyd, he whooped all Latinos' asses, right? So it's just historically, it's really like that. You can't really mention another time. I mean, can you?
Well, some people felt indifference with Floyd Mayweather when he fought Castillo the first time.
The first time. That is true. I won't, overlook that. But again, is there any others?
There's many cases.
It
goes back and forth all the time.
In the what is it? With Fredo Benitez days, right?
I mean, last time I
Jordo just beat up Jesse Hart.
I was gonna say.
Gilberto Ramirez.
I mean, he just beat up Jesse Hart. I'm just saying, like the Latin fighter that doesn't always lose. That's all I'm saying.
Yo, but come on, Jesse Hart and Gilberto Ramirez. That wasn't like that's not Julio Cesar Chavez, Pernell Whitaker, or Meldrick Taylor. That's not that. That was prospect.
I mean, you could say
that was Jesse Hart's first title shot. That was Jesse Hart's first title shot, bro. That's not high pro.
Hold on, because you guys are throwing so many names. I'm getting confused. I'll give you an example of a time where the black fighter actually lost, and I thought he lost. It was Timothy Bradley, Manny Pacquiao, the first time.
Yeah, but Manny Pacquiao's not Latino. Philippines not considered Latino.
But okay, but I guess all right. That's like a Spanish Asian.
Latino. I don't think so. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not saying that.
Marcos Chino Maidana beat the shit out of Adrian Broner. There wasn't no question.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Damn good one.
We're talking about robberies though, not like clear-cut wins happen all the time. Oscar's beaten many black fighters. Felix Trinidad beat tons of black fighters. He was the longest reigning welterweight champion. It was like almost 8 years. So we're thinking about robberies, right? Hardcore robberies.
So it was no robbery.
We're bringing all that up to say that
Yesterday was no robbery though.
There was no robbery. The only reason why I brought up race was because
I think we got pulled into a black hole.
Yeah,
It was not mistake. It was a nest steak.
Yeah, it was a nest egg. Nah, it was all based off of like, yo, what is boxing about? You know what I'm saying? There is, you know, there's the racial thing, there's the I want to be seen thing. You know what I'm saying? Because we were talking about all the people in the arena. You know what I'm saying? Like there were people dressed up, there were people thugged out, there were women there with short skirts. There was,
bruh.
It was all about being seen.
I want to talk about it. Because I know y'all ain't gonna bring it up. We gotta talk about this Tank Davis photo. Bruh.
Man.
Chubby face, I saw it immediately.
The Cabbage Patch Tank.
I was like, yo, babe, you know he's 155 pounds.
Cabbage Patch.
Now, I'm gonna show that shit because that is correct. I'm telling you, the internet is undefeated.
Well, you talking about
like a big ass
picture. You talking about the picture side by side of Tank and The Rock, right?
Nah, bro.
Nah, he
Talking
did.
about when we're sitting down with that black on trying to look slim.
I'm talking about this, man. I'm talking about this. Watch this, man. If
Oh,
you're listening to this on a podcast, this is the opportunity that you should take to come over to YouTube and find a timestamp of. Oh shit! It just says. Okay, wait. No, I don't know. Sorry, but
was it just me or did Tank not really like want the what the fuck? Oh my god! Oh my god!
Who did that?
You can't even see it on YouTube, but hey, you can.
Don't see it now.
Yeah, you can. It's right there in the middle. Right there in the middle. You guys see it?
Who did that to Tank, man? And look, this video on I think Rob sent me the video, or it's on YouTube of
almost like
Adrian Broner. Oh no, I sent it to Rob. This video of Adrian Broner showing Tank this photo and say, "Yo, who did this, Tank? Who did this?" So then a fan is trying to record. So this is what we got to talk about. So a fan is trying to record Tank's reaction to Adrian Broner showing him the Cabbage Patch, and fucking Javonta smacks the kid's phone across the floor.
Bullshit.
I ain't seen
that wasn't no kid. That was a grown ass man. That was not no kid.
It don't matter, man. Don't fucking touch my goddamn phone.
I ain't saying kid like it's a kid. All right, so that's an East Coast slang. But he smacked the older guys. It wasn't a grown ass man either. It ain't like a fucking Rob haired guy. All right, it was like fucking. You know what I'm saying a younger guy. It was definitely a younger guy.
I mean, yeah. He wasn't old, but he was an adult. Yeah, if you guys are friends with Nestor on Facebook, Jamie Calderon posted that on Nestor's Facebook wall. If you guys want to go, the video of Tank smacking the phone out the out the dude's hand.
It's on Instagram, bro. That shit is right there. I just sent it to whose Instagram was it, Rob? I sent it to you.
You sent it in here.
I know, but to who? But whose is it? Whose Instagram clip?
Oh, I didn't look. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm gonna click on it, otherwise it'll just.
It's my boy. It's Boxing Bully Barack from Akin Barack. They're doing the work with the Zone. So yeah. Crazy. I mean, look, the caption on Barack's post says that Tank took a picture with the kid and the kid was persistent, trying to get more. So then that's what happened later. But I don't know, man. That's a phone, bro. Phones are like $900 these days, man.
Yeah, man.
I mean, he didn't break it. Man. He didn't break it, so.
I mean, you don't know.
Yo, I swear they were drinking and everything over there.
Bruh, let's talk about that. That's another elephant in the room. Terrence Bud Crawford says, "Yo, Earl, you was drunk last night." Anybody got the impression Earl was drunk last night?
I don't think he was drunk, but I think he was tipsy.
The whole row were all the dogs or everybody in PBC. They were living it up. It was like a party.
Man, y'all, how many times have y'all seen Earl Spence just freely talk like that? Come on now, we all know Earl.
You saying
no, don't put that word in my mouth. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Let me finish. I'm just saying there's a phrase, a drunk mouth speak a sober mind. You know what I'm saying? So maybe he had a little bit of liquor and he was like, fuck that. know what I'm saying? This dude, Terrence Crawford, matter of fact, why should I paraphrase it? Let's let Earl say it.
He got 3 coaches. We don't know who the head coach is. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a way better fighter than Terrence Crawford. Who has he fought? The only name fight you fight, Yorkers Game Boy, the guy that he fought. I fought Lamar Peterson, Chris Algieri, Kell Brook. I mean, and how many fights he got? 30-some fights? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he's a great fighter, things like that, but you can't put him to me. Like the guy he just fought for the undisputed welterweight, lightweight champion of the world, Reece McGregor stopped him later than he did. You know what I'm saying? So you got to add that all into conclusion to who you say the top welterweight. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff is smoke and mirrors. He got 3 coaches. We don't know who the head coach is. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a way better fighter than Terrence Crawford. Who has he fought? The only name fight you fight is Yorkers Game Boy, the guy that he fought.
Open it.
Are you playing again? First time.
Chris Algieri, Kell Brook. And how many fights he got? 30-some fights? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he's a great fighter.
I'm surprised you took the part where he said that he ducked.
Slow down, ladies and gentlemen. I had to loop it because I needed to sink the fuck in. Plus, I wanted you to hit Adrian Broner because Terrence Crawford also added Adrian Broner. He was like, Adrian Broner, you was a groupie last night.
Yeah, that's like when Tiger Woods tees off and it's in the hole. It's like, yeah, he ain't for nobody, Spence. He ain't for it. Oh, shut the fuck up. Spence is whack even when he's drunk. Let's be honest.
Let's speak on it, Rob.
First of all, how is Spence whack? Explain.
I don't know.
You don't know.
I can't say that shit.
So, hey, Ness, hold on. Just from my experience, maybe Robbie thinks that Spencer's whack because he went to Sheffield and beat the fuck out of one of his Englishmen.
Here we go.
But when I was in LA, I did spend some time with the Spencers and the Gervonta Davises and the Adrian Broners. For E Bunny wasn't around because he was fighting that weekend. But I mean, they were drinking. You know, they were drinking. However, I wasn't in New York last night, but at least Gervonta and Earl were trying to be more. They weren't trying to be seen with it. So when there was cameras around, like you would notice Tank and you would notice Earl try to kind of like not have their glass of whatever they were drinking be seen or whatever bottle. They would try to kind of.
So wait a minute. Let me get this straight for all listening. So your observation is coming 2,400 miles away from Las Vegas in your living room through your television.
Yeah, the cameras. My observation was there. Now, my observation was there, and they looked like a party. The only dude that looked cordial and just mindset ready to fight and say whatever it was Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman.
Yep.
That was no smiles at all, strictly business, and he was in that same exact role. And I was just a little bit.
I realized too, Keith Thurman was working.
It looked like a party. When you say it looked like a party,
yo, when I say look like a party, I'm talking about standing up, laughing, giving daps, leaning over, that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a concert.
But none of that said alcohol. None of that said alcohol.
I didn't interpret it as alcohol. I did say, yo, they having fun. They probably are drinking. I didn't hear the language.
They posted it
at the end of the day.
But you talking? Hold on, you talking about my living room, bro? Like the shit is posted on their social media. Like you go on E Bunny's Instagram, like there's videos of all their ass drinking. That's what I'm saying. I know they were drinking.
Well, look,
but yesterday, what I'm saying.
I got a quick.
Yesterday they really drank.
Just in. Quick message from the TBV. Chat. We got some more. Abner Morris coming at Tank.
Oh my God, they killing this man.
Abner Morris
with the Rock.
Look at this.
That Rock funny, bro.
Fatality.
So he says, "Yo, Gervonta, you have to start cutting some weight, bro. What happened to October? Okay, I'll give you until December to get in shape for boxing shape, not soccer ball shape." No, so you said there's no Rock?
Yeah, it's one like
going in that shape.
Easter Bunny actually created the one with The Rock. Like there's videos on their social media where like they were going back and forth talking shit, and E Bunny was the one that pulled up the one of The Rock. While at the fights,
Yeah,
while ringside.
Yeah, though. It's not on his social.
But at the
It's
end of
on
the
the
day,
story.
man,
It's in the story.
These guys are grown.
Hit me.
Grown men.
Well, you ain't hit me. You ain't hit me.
That nigga drunk. Yeah, that nigga drunk. But look, at the end of the day, they're grown men. They can have a drink as long as.
Shout out to my motherfucking jeweler, man.
Yo, he's from my hood. He's from North.
Follow this man, man. Look at this, man. Real art, man. No flash.
We don't want to see that.
Only gold he's got.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
That chain, that turtleneck. Man, they went to the strip club.
Yeah, supposed to have fun, man. The young men, they're responsible. They're not out here getting arrested. They're not out here causing scenes.
That motherfucker, good old time.
Yo, they
let them boys live their life.
Yo,
as long as like he's not like,
let me tell you,
like visually drunk on camera, then it's all good.
And on none of them stories did I even see bottles. I ain't even see faces. And by chases, hold on, Enrique. I know you ain't been on in a while, but that's your fault. By chases, I mean like orange juice or cranberry. So there is no kind of like evidence of alcohol present.
Yo, all I'm saying is they were having a great ass time on that road.
Hell yeah. Did you see?
Are they not allowed?
Did you see the 10,000 on motherfucking Earl Spence lap? I'll have a great time with 10,000 too at a strip club. And by the way, I'm impressed with their chase in women. You know, it could have been something else that was shaking their ass on their lap like that. Anybody interested in viewing what we viewed, you can check it out on the YouTube or head on over to Robert Easter Jr.'s Instagram.
But back to good old boxing, right?
I mean, all this is boxing. All this is boxing.
This is like Showtime fucking up and not doing like a behind the scenes.
Before we were even doing this show, I was watching the Bobby Brown story, the 2-part series.
Hard.
Exactly. All right, so it's no different. You see all that we seen, but we know Bobby as a singer, but we got to be, you know, part of so much more of his life because that's just what it is when you're a celebrity. Like
that movie is like only a little bit. He got a book out that's fucking phenomenal.
Listen, that movie didn't do justice on the actors, okay? Like in terms of their looks, Bobby Brown's final wife, she looked good. The daughter was a good choice. But like I would have done better. I would have found a better looking Bobby. But anyway, now
since you play casting director, I wanted to just say real quick that you know that whole lifestyle.
Damn, he was like, since you playing, I wanted to say
something real quick.
Yeah,
I've been sitting
all I really wanted to say was I want to win. Nah, but back to the stories. Now that just makes them more feel like their opponent that they have more confident. You know what I'm saying? Like someone like Bud Crawford, who obviously is strictly business. Someone like
wait.
No. You can't say.
Jump to the conclusion. Let me finish my statement.
No,
what
I'm saying is, can I walk with you? I just want to. So, are you saying that?
No, let me finish.
Doesn't drink and he drinks. That's what you're trying to say?
Nah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
what I'm saying is, let's say Crawford is gonna match up with Earl Spence and saying, "Yo, he drinking." You know what I'm saying? And Crawford doesn't drink. He has nothing to give up. He just has to continue to go straight into the hard work as he's been doing. Where if allegedly Earl Spence is a drinker or just a partier, right? He has to give that up and then readapt and go into the hard. So,
but Earl Spence,
you're saying giving it up like he's a substance abuse problem.
That's why I use air quotes, bro.
Got you.
Yeah, but you got to say you're using air quotes.
I said allegedly. Do it only as a party or as a
religion. You gotta say you're using air quotes because it's a podcast.
Yeah, but I said alleged. But anyway, so you know, there's still like one up on Thurman, and people gotta follow. You know what I'm saying? And people will choose sides, and it just makes it more exciting if Errol Spence were to be the winner, and if the build up when it was is happening You know, you make choices based off.
I want Ken to call in. He said he was.
So hold on. Speaking of Ken, do we all think that we'll see Porter versus Spence next, or do we think we'll see like a mandatory?
No, I want to wait for that conversation. I want to.
Gotcha.
Because I want to ask Ken, because remember there was so much talk about Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia on pay-per-view. Is he now going to say to Allen Espinoza, like, yeah, we ready to unify on pay-per-view? But Crawford did a pay-per-view with Postal and it only did 50,000. Well, let us fail too. We want to try and fail too.
Let's go and get to it. Let's go and get to it. You know what I'm saying? While we here, the fucking main picture. No. I ain't talking about that. Probably the main picture right there in the middle, the face-off.
Oh, I mean, the only way to get into that is to go back to where it originated from. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
Man, that's where it originated from. I mean, I didn't say this.
He got 3 coaches. We don't know who the head coach is. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a way better fighter than Terrence Crawford. Who has he fought? The only name fight you fight is Yorkers Game Boy, the guy that he fought. I fought Lamar Peterson, Chris Algieri, Kell Brook. I mean, and how many fights he got? 30-some fights. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he's a great fighter, things like that, but you can't put him to me. Like the guy he just fought for the undisputed welterweight, light welterweight champion of the world, Regis Prograis stopped him later than he did. You know what I'm saying? So you got to add that all into conclusion to who you say the top welterweight. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff is smoke and mirrors. He got.
Well, hold on. Let me give Terrence Crawford rebuttal. LOL at Errol Spence. Yeah, you was drunk last night, boy. You are no way, shape, or form the A-side, dummy. You talking about who I beat? Everyone you beat, I smashed, boy. How many titles in different weight classes have you got? I'll wait. And I like Lamont, but come on now. The 2 guys I stopped and punished that didn't even win a round beat Lamont. And Algieri was a kickboxer. Laughing emojis. Stop drinking, dude. It's bad for your health. And we can bet $1 million I make more than you after Texas. Big money, man.
Let's look at it this way. I mean, I'm just going to keep it real. I like Crawford. I like Spence. But whatever narrative you can spit, Spence is on Showtime. Crawford's on ESPN. You can argue each side of the narrative. You can be like, why isn't Spence coming over on ESPN? Why isn't Crawford coming over Showtime? It's literally the same narrative.
He addressed that.
Wait, let me jump in. Because one guy re-signed. It's like Anthony Joshua. His contract was up. He chose to leave to make the negotiations difficult. One guy chose to stay where he knew the negotiations would be difficult. And there's another guy that's fighting on 2 different networks. That's called options.
So you're saying that Crawford should have left ESPN and signed with Al Heyman PBC?
I'm saying,
ESPN is a bigger platform than Showtime, but you probably wouldn't know that, would you?
That offer, but
Mike, let him answer the question first.
At least entertain an offer, right?
Or don't sign a 3-year. You don't have to sign a 3-year. He could have signed a 1 year. I mean, realistically, we don't see
one fight like Anthony fucking Joshua, who makes way more money than the both of them, since they want to bring up money and taxes, right? No. Think with your head, Mike. Stop being a fan.
No, I'm not. I am thinking with my head because you're bringing up the zone. You're bringing up the zone for one fight. AJ is signed with Sky Sports for multiple fights. So bring a whole nother argument, brother, please.
What? Well, that's AJ's fault that he's got 2 different markets, a UK and
that's not his fault. But Terrence Crawford, Terrence does the same thing over in the UK. They buy his fights either on BT Sports or on Box Nation. Come on,
brother.
And now is Spence technically signed to Showtime, or is he his own promoter?
Is it
right?
Loyalty thing? Like,
but I know, but it's a loyalty thing. So he is in a situation that he could probably flex some things. If he really wanted to fight.
He said, I fight on Showtime, I fight on Fox, I don't fight on ESPN. But he could, because if he's not signed like a document, it's just a loyalty thing.
Fight on Showtime and Fox, that means he's signed. You know what I mean?
And Errol Spence said the exact same thing that I said.
Hasn't got anything signed.
If those 2 guys fight, it will be a joint pay-per-view with ESPN and either Showtime or Fox. He said those exact words. And he also said that Terrence Crawford somehow ducked Manny Pacquiao, Come on, bro, Errol Spence. You know more about boxing than that. You know Freddie Roach sit here and told the media that he does not want Terrence Crawford to fight Manny Pacquiao because he's a bigger, faster Floyd Mayweather. His exact words.
He was just addressing the fact that he's quote unquote, if he's the A side, he'll get more strings pulled. He's pretty much saying he's not the A side in the reality of the picture. That's what he was trying to say. The marquee fighter of top rank can't get ideally what he wants. That's pretty much what he was just saying, to be fair.
Brother, man, listen, the elephant in the
Then
room.
Errol Spence won't Keith Thurman?
Terrence Crawford, Tim Bradley. Is Terrence Crawford the new Tim Bradley? That is the question. And at least Bradley got fucking 3 Manny Pacquiao fights to try and position him and transition him into a superstar. Crawford signed the deal with Top Rank to fight Jose Benavidez. There's barely anyone for Lomachenko to fight. Who has Gilberto Ramirez been fighting? And Oscar Valdez? Magdaleno lost his belt to a dude we never heard of. Yes, you might like Dog Bay now, but he wasn't supposed to win. Like
no. I'm a fan of Dog Bay.
But what about Spence apparently going up to Thurman saying, I'll take you out in 6 rounds?
Well, that'll be good, but we all know that Thurman is fucking, he hasn't even had a
He ain't fought him goddamn a decade. Get Thurman ass out of here, bro. Next person.
I'm just saying, and then Spence, he went 7 with Peterson, he went 11 with Brook, he went 8 with Van Heerden, he went, where's he getting all this 6 from against the WBA champion? Is he just, I don't know.
He was feeling good last night, Rob. We all know that. You seen him. You seen him kind of oily.
I feel that you're a little anti-Spence.
I love Spence.
Not at all.
I think Spence is thinking like this, right? If Collazo, who's 37, can buckle you and make you run, I'm 27, twice his size, and the true terror of the division. I'll stop you in 6. Collazo buckled them in less than 6, was it not? Because I was there.
How did it turn out?
We all know how it turned out. But again, are you trying to insinuate that somehow Collazo and Earl are on the same level because they're southpaws?
But do you think a fit and healthy Keith Thurman gets blown away under 6 rounds against Spence?
My man, Keith Thurman was fit and healthy when he got buckled versus a 37-year-old Collazo, who's a southpaw.
You're going to answer my question. Do you? No, you didn't. You didn't say yes or no.
I'm telling you, if he could get hurt by a 37-year-old Collazo, of course he could get hurt by a 27-year-old Spence.
But we also seen Keith Thurman get stunned once or twice by Shawn Porter.
And
Shawn
by
Porter, that's
Chavez. Diego Chavez stunned him. I mean, what is he talking?
It's boxing. What I'm saying is boxing. So I mean, just because a guy gets stunned or like goes through a bad moment, i.e. Charles Martin last night, that first round, doesn't necessarily mean that the guy's going to stop him. Could come back and have a good outing. Charles Martin.
Yeah, glass chin Khan. He apparently, there we go again, the glass chin, but he got up and won every round. He wasn't finished.
Oh my God!
Exactly.
He won every round versus a tune-up. Something.
No. I'm just back saying what Mike said. Just because someone gets knocked down, and apparently Amir Khan's got the worst chin in boxing. He didn't stay down. His eyes weren't in the back of his head. He got up and carried on fighting and won the fight. I'm just saying.
On this conversation,
you're saying Spence lands one on Thurman and he doesn't wake up ever again.
I didn't say that. I did not say that. I'm just justifying Spence. I did not.
Well, real quick, while we got to pause in the action, we got a super chat from our guy Big Paulie, aka Super Chat King. LOL, that thing Earl does when he plays nice but talks shit off camera is hilarious. Buzz Earl is funny. He lets his personality show. Absolutely.
Now, let me go back to what Rob was saying, because I like to spin the narrative all different type of directions, since there's one direction right now. Who do you think has the best resume at 147? Seeing the fact that Spence named all these people, do you think Keith Thurman has a better resume than Spence? And while you think about that, who do you think has the best footwork in 147? Would you not say Keith Thurman has great footwork?
I would say Keith Thurman has.
Go ahead.
Oh, you asked Rob. Never mind. You asked Rob. Go ahead, Rob.
Well, I'm just saying, because the whole narrative is that okay, you can stop him in 6, but can he catch him? Now I know Shawn Porter was able to get him close, but would you say that Keith Thurman's footwork and movement can cause problems for Spence? Seeing the fact that on Spence's resume, I don't think there's someone that probably has equal to the type of lateral movement that Keith Thurman has, as well as the experience that he gained after the Collazo fight, fighting former and current champions and unifying and getting that type of experience. You know, so,
I'd like to think Keith Thurman's footwork is not a problem for Errol Spence plodding forward, personally, but it's just whether he catches him. But you know, that's true in any fight.
And personally, right now, I believe Keith Thurman does have the best resume because I really like Danny Garcia's resume, and Keith Thurman beat him, and he also beat Shawn Porter, the current WBC champion. So he has a nice little resume at 147. But as far as footwork goes, come on, Ron. We know ain't nobody got better footwork than Bud Crawford at 147.
This guy.
Bro, that's my guy. Oh my God.
Yo, you know what I like about you? That you're gonna take the heat off of me. Yo, you're like the new. Yo, now I see what people see when I talk about Wilder. Jeez Louise, everything is Bud does everything right. Keith has the best footwork in the game.
Okay. We got super chat from John D. John F. Danny.
Wait a minute. Didn't Danny just lose to Shawn Porter? And Keith was able to get away from that pressure? What are you talking about?
And then Spence just beat Horn, and Horn put the pressure on Manny Pacquiao.
Oh my God!
And he didn't get touched.
Shit.
What I'm saying is, bro, the only thing I'm saying is this: Pacquiao, a legend at 147 from whatever he started at. It don't matter how old he was. He was like 34. Bro, he was like 34 when he fought Horn.
You're comparing Manny Pacquiao from now to Margarito. I'm just being real.
So Floyd not old though. But beat ass till he's 41. But
Manny Pacquiao. You said Manny Pacquiao. We can talk about.
I'm giving an example though, bro.
You spit Manny Pacquiao, so let's talk only Manny Pacquiao.
Okay, let's go.
So you're comparing the Manny Pacquiao at this time to the Manny Pacquiao we fought Antonio Margarito. Would you have thought that if the Antonio Margarito Manny Pacquiao fought the Jeff Horn now, would have been the same outcome? Just answer the question. No. So that's what I was saying. So you agreed. That's my narrative. Manny Pacquiao is an old fighter, which many people feel that he's picking and choosing his last couple fights.
And he picked and chose Jeff Horn and went life and death with him.
But many people thought, even Errol Spence thought,
it don't matter what they thought.
Won. It was a close fight. Errol Spence.
It was a close fight. Was it a close fight?
I thought Manny Pacquiao won. It doesn't matter if it's close enough.
I didn't ask you who you thought won. I didn't ask you who you thought won. Was it a close fight?
For his age right now, it was a close fight.
Was it a close fight? Not age, not fucking grandmothers or mothers. Was it a close fight? Yes or no?
I thought Manny Pacquiao won decisively.
Was it a close fight,
more than a round?
I answered your question.
Mike,
I answered your question.
What do you don't get?
Mike,
you don't get?
Decisively, that means it wasn't a close fight.
No.
Like I don't get. What are you trying to spit? He decisively won.
What I'm saying is, Ron, you asked me a question about Manny Pacquiao's age, and I was like, yes. And then I asked you a question, the same, just no question.
I don't think it was a close fight. I don't think it was a close fight. I thought it was a decisive win for Manny Pacquiao, hands down. On paper, he won, but in my eyes, no, it wasn't obvious. Manny Pacquiao won. It was decisive. I don't get it. And you said Manny Pacquiao would have been different if he was fighting at the time of Antonio Margarito at this time, showing that there is a slowdown in his reaction power. Everything about him is not the same. So comparing him to this point, you just said that he declined. He's not the same fighter. So he's not a good fighter, or not as the fighter that he was. He's on the decline. So anytime you pick a fighter on the decline, there you go.
Let me ask you a better question.
It's not a good fight. You want to fight people on the rise in their prime.
What was more decisive? Horn versus Crawford or Horn versus Pacquiao?
They were both decisive. Crawford and Pacquiao both just Horn.
I see why you love Max.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
It's your show. Go ahead.
Are we going to do a live fight chat for Crawford versus Jose Benavidez?
I will hope to be there, but I might do a lot. Yeah, absolutely. Why shouldn't we? It's Terrence Crawford. He's fighting. It's Terrence Crawford. We did one for fucking Amir Khan. Come on.
No, you didn't.
Immediate reaction. I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying. See, you can hide the truth because you love Crawford, but the truth it just comes out.
Let me know what truth that I'm hiding, though.
And you know that the fight is so bad that you had doubt in your answer of whether or not we would be working. Because normally when the fight isn't good, we don't work. So you questioned it. And that just shows we're not questioning Earl Spence.
Oh my God.
Did you do a Campo live fight chat?
Thank you. Boy, took the words out of my fucking mouth, man. Ocampo.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you? It was a question.
I think so.
I don't think you guys did a live. I don't know, actually. But just not Mike. Now I'm gonna help you out here, okay? If you look at the rankings, no, I'm gonna help you out, Mike, a little bit, because you got to know some of these little things. Where's Jose Benavidez ranked in the top in the sanctioning bodies? He's number 1 in the WBA.
27 in the world and 14 in the United States, I believe.
No, but I'm saying in the sanctioning bodies. So let's say in WBO, IBF. Okay, so WBA, the number 1 ranked mandatory for what would be for Keith Thurman would be Jose Benavidez. That's the Crawford narrative that he's spitting. That what are you talking about? I'm fighting the number 1 mandatory for the WBA. That's where he's saying I'm fighting nobody. Okay, well, Ocampo was a mandatory for Spence, right? The number 1 mandatory.
Yeah, no.
No, I know. I'm just spitting this for Mike.
That is such a weak narrative because let me tell you one thing. You can't pick and choose the mandatory and say, well, I'm fighting Keith's mandatory, but I'm not mandated to fight it. That's a voluntary cherry pick.
That's not
would you say the same about Wilder and Ortiz, though? Would that be the same thing, though? Because Wilder he went over to fight Ortiz, and then if Anthony Joshua's.
Yeah, he was number 1 in the WBA. So what's good for the goose is not good for the gander.
That's not the same thing because Luis Ortiz was considered a fucking threat.
Oh my God.
Who is Jose Benavidez threatening these days?
What's the number besides the guy's name, though? 1
Crawford,
WBA.
The whole narrative change, though. If Jose Benavidez beats Crawford, would this whole narrative change and we would go back and go, oh wow, that was kind of a Luis King Kong Ortiz? If that happened.
If Jose beat Crawford, I might not do a show for like a month.
Okay, that shit is never happening, bro. Get out of here, man. Come on, bro. Yo, it's Top Rank, guys. It's Top Rank.
I understand, bro. The business is good, though.
No, you do the business. Fine. Pull up Valdez's Oscar Valdez. Tell the world how many defenses he and Gilberto. Robert, pull up Gilberto Ramirez. How many defenses he has? And then Mike, pull up Jesse Magdaleno before he fucking lost to Dog Bay. How many defenses he had? These guys don't fight nobody till they absolutely, positively have to. You think there's Shawn Porter jumping in fucking rings trying to fight the top 3 of their division? The fuck is wrong with y'all? Stop it, yo. Like, why are we arguing with each other when we're hardcores? We know the truth. I'm not saying Crawford is afraid or isn't good. I'm saying Crawford is the boss. He can pick and choose to do what he wants. Like he's picking. This is personal.
If he was the boss, though, he would have got that Pacquiao fight, right or wrong.
Boy.
I'm not saying like Bob still like pull the strings, bro.
That's totally different. That is totally different. You could tell Bob Arum, I want to fight Earl Spence, or I want to fight someone active on the other side. You saying I want to fight Pacquiao? Bob already tried to make that. It didn't happen. Okay, move on. Move on.
If fighters want to fight,
hold on, because I'm gonna keep hitting Mike where it hurts because he loves 2 guys, so it's difficult for him. Because didn't Deontay Wilder do the same thing they were asking Crawford to do? Didn't he turn to his Al Heyman, his Bob Arum, and say, "No, I don't want to fight fucking Bermain Stavern"?
Absolutely.
All right. So don't tell me it's a business. Don't tell me he ain't the boss. Yes, he is the fucking boss. Because Wilder said, I ain't gonna fight Joshua. Well, I'm not fighting Dominic fucking Brazil either. AKA, and it's disrespectful for me to say Brazil and Jose Benavidez on the same fucking level when they not. This is Jose Benavidez' first time fighting for a world title. Brazil at least went to another country under bigger fucking burning lights. Jose's never been under those lights. He about to be in Nebraska under maybe 8 to 12,000 people.
Let me ask you a question then. How do we get these big name fighters over to ESPN when Spence already says he's not going anywhere and Crawford just signed a new deal? Like,
man, that shit ain't happening. It's only
that's what
happening
I'm saying.
on pay-per-view. It's only happening on pay-per-view, but it could happen today on pay-per-view, Mike.
But it's not going
pay-per-view.
The same way you guys shit on Eddie Hearn, but I love the way he's doing his business. Push that shit out and make it bigger.
No. Eddie Hearn at least has a failed negotiations. Where's Bob Arum, Terrence Crawford at?
It's not ready yet, bro. It's not ready yet.
How you gonna say you own the block? How every time a fight is on, you tweeting out how bad those fighters are doing, but you don't send an offer.
It's banter, bro.
Anthony Joshua said, I'm Deontay Bum Squat. Man, we hear all that shit, but he sent the fucking contract, whether we liked it or not. He sent one. Stop defending this guy. What's wrong with you?
I'm not defending, but we know why he sent the
50,000 pay-per-view buys. That's what it is. You was one of those 50 like me, and you know that it ain't never gonna happen on pay-per-view because he ain't drawing fucking flies to shit.
Look, fighters can make the fights. At the end of the day, the promoters, everyone, they work for the fighters. Unless they don't allow, by any chance, whatever theory. Look, they can say, I don't want to take the fight. They're not forced into these fights. They can go and say, look, I want this fight. I don't want to take any of these fights. I want to fight that person.
I mean,
promoters
I checked. Earl Spence said, I only want top 5. Has he not been fighting top 5s?
I don't know, but is Spence saying he doesn't want the fight then by saying he only fights on Showtime and thing? Because is he not the boss as well? Couldn't he put in an offer?
So
they're both.
Spence made it clear. He made it clear that the only way the fight would happen.
Wait a minute, because it's very easy for us to forget the truth, which obviously is Spence, but I'm talking no pun intended here. I'm talking about the narrative and actually the facts, right? I don't recall, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'll leave this to you, Mike, because that's your boy. I don't recall Earl Spence ever having anything bad to say about Terrence Crawford. But I do recall it the other way around. Terrence having something to say about the entire welterweight division, both when Keith was on top and when Earl became champ, correct?
I think he had a little to say, but I think Bomac is more the one that's outspoken about everything. I think Terrence Crawford just backing up his trainer and doing what fighters do. I mean, fighters talk shit until they get in the ring and then they settle it. Like, simple as that.
Well, at the same time, though, I mean, that's just said. I mean, I'm a Spence guy. not like Mike is a Crawford guy, but I'm a Spence guy. But nonetheless,
I'm a Spence guy too, just not against Crawford. That's all.
No, look, nonetheless, at the end of the day, I mean, we saw Spence go across the pond. He fought Kell Brook. Kell Brook, who a lot of people said was done because after his fight with Golovkin, but he went out there, put up a hell of a fight, won that title, came back, defended that title against Lamont Peterson. Same thing, a lot of people were saying he done. All right, went home, defended his title against his mandatory, which a lot of people can say what they want, but he got that title defense against his mandatory. So now he's clear of obligation as far as that. Now, Spence did say that he won't go over to ESPN, Rob. You're right. He did say that. But he also said, I feel that I'm the A side. And if we are going to make that fight happen, it's going to have to be a pay-per-view, kind of like Floyd and Manny, where it was HBO on Showtime. So it's going to have to be either Showtime / Fox and ESPN. That's the way that fight is going to happen. I think that is a pay-per-view fight. But I don't see that fight happening.
Hold on, bro. I've been saying that shit since like last week, and you guys all gave me hell for it.
Well, no, I mean you can't.
But Spence said, "Oh, yeah, it makes sense now." What the fuck? Get out of here with that shit, man. Look here, man. Bottom line is,
ain't nobody say otherwise. Ain't nobody fucking say otherwise. What I'm saying is,
bro, I'm just poking a little fun at you, bro. Poking a little fun.
Right. It's all fun. Baby. It's all fun. But at the end of the day, I know what's being said. Like Spence and Mikey, to me, not a pay-per-view fight. They may have to do it on pay-per-view to pay the fighters. But when you talk about Spence and Crawford, yeah,
really quick. I want to announce to everybody watching. We want to ask you really quick to hit that thumbs up button and also let a friend know that Ken Porter is going to join the show. We already have him connected via Skype, so the call quality will be good. I want to ask all my Skype callers, starting with Jason Williams, please mute yourself so that the call quality is good. He's gonna get some headphones, and we're gonna go live with Ken Porter, the trainer of obviously Shawn Porter, the new WBC champion in the welterweight division. But we are still discussing the Earl and Crawford business, correct?
Yeah, we were,
Yeah.
but I think this story is like kind of put to bed. I mean, we all want to see the fight, and it probably won't happen until Spence side of the street is cleaned up, which probably be him or Thurman. No disrespect to Shawn, but I don't see Shawn beating any of those guys. So when the fight does happen, it'll be a pay-per-view, and it is what it is.
Look, at the end of the day, you can spin the same narrative. Look, you said Spence went over, took a belt, defended. What did Crawford do? You went over, got a belt, and got unified. You can preach whatever you want on both sides. They both obviously on different networks. It's Manny Pacquiao, Mayweather. I won't go on that side. I will do this side. Oscar De La Hoya, Chavez, all that stuff. Bob Arum, Don King.
See, that story doesn't work for this situation, Rob.
No. But
didn't Pacquiao have enough fighters, and Mayweather have enough fighters to both build themselves? Crawford had no one over there.
To be fair, they're both pay-per-view stars at the end of the day, so they built the fight up. But what I'm just trying to get at is the simple fact that they're both going the business route, and their business is you come on my side or you come on my side.
That's not true. That's not true. The danger's on this side, bro. You guys are fucking
no. You're missing my whole point, Ness. I didn't say what side was more dangerous or what. I'm saying simple.
You can't say that they're going they are not going the business route. When one man stays in the fucking battle zone where all the warriors are at, how is that business?
It is business. It's a big fight. How's that not business? Whoa. How is that not business? That's a big fight.
Being safe is business, not being in there with the top.
Your business is
so why does Spence want Crawford to come over to Showtime and Fox? I'm just asking, if that's the case, why is he so adamant saying I'm not fighting on ESPN if it's not business? Because he clearly said this is all the politics.
Bro, ain't there like 3 belts on this side? Ain't there like 3 belts on this side?
It doesn't matter.
Why would he go to that side, bro? There's 3 belts over here.
At the end of the day, you can say the same thing about Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder about belts and sides. And everything.
No, you can't. Joshua's the one that left.
Yeah, you can't do that, bro. Because I was gonna bring that up. I was like, damn, you can't say the guys.
If he wanted,
Earl would be AJ.
Stood there.
And
I get what you're saying. So you're saying switch network.
Okay, would be Wilder.
Okay, so bad example.
Listen, Adonis Stevenson did the same thing.
Okay, bad example.
He said bye.
Okay, bad example. I get that. The narrative switch. Mayweather also went from HBO to Showtime, and shit got difficult too. At the end of the day, we understand that they have their priorities and there's their networks, and whatever they want to do is not fighting each other unless it meets on their terms. Clearly, if Crawford wanted to come over to Showtime and fight, it would have happened. But
and real quick, we got a super chat from Unbiased or Biased Boxing Talk. Spence has never beat a undefeated champion in his career ever. Guys who he have beaten all got knocked out, or guys who have beaten knocked out, something like that. So he's saying Algieri was knocked out, Brook was knocked out, Lamont Peterson was already knocked out.
So what's the point? Because do you want me to tell you that Gamboa was like what? He was good.
I want to go meta.
He wasn't dropped for like 8 times in his career before he got to Crawford, and he wasn't 126 moving up.
Right.
And after moving to one division, he's basically retired. His last fight was a robbery versus Jason Sosa. Like, it's called retrospect, man. We gotta stop. We're too good for this.
Why you always bring up Gamboa though? Why you never bring up Postal?
Win.
I don't think so, bro. Gamboa didn't have a belt.
That's you. Let me check if Ken.
Okay.
Ken, you ready?
I'm getting close.
Okay.
So let's go with Postal though,
because y'all arguing like shit, like it's a baseball game where historically the Yankees beat the Mets and the Mets can't beat Boston and so forth and so forth. These are individual people who fight and look great and then face another guy and beat the guy that no one thought could be beat. and we arguing, like, yo, what does he have behind him? What's his resume? You saw Shawn Porter just beat Danny Garcia, who had a hell of a resume. You know what I'm saying? And everybody was like, yo, but
Porter got a hell of a resume.
I know, but that there you go. So we don't know the answer though. People chose their side. So to say something about a person who hasn't fought anybody yet, you know, it's still like, okay, that's just a debate that could keep going and keep going and keep going. So I don't know why this shit is prolonged, man.
But you know what? That's the thing. You know why it's prolonged? Because you're a casual and you at least got it. He said a person who hasn't fought anybody. I'm assuming you're talking about Crawford at the welterweight division, right?
I'm assuming Crawford, who we're arguing that he hasn't fought anybody, but is getting graded pound for pound and fighting again, shit like that.
There you go. And you're a casual and you're able to see that he has yet to fight a true welterweight. Like,
but he looks good though.
All right,
he just got to welterweight.
He looks good.
He just got to welterweight one fight.
Didn't Danny Garcia look good beating up Salka and Samuel Vargas?
And Amir Khan, who was raved about.
No. But that was different.
Welterweight, yeah, okay.
He was an underdog there. What I'm saying is, when you're the favorite, right?
Right.
Unless your name is Amir Khan, because when Danny fought Vargas, he knocked him out with no struggles, you know, and UK's Amir Khan got put down on the ground. It was a little shaky.
Well, y'all want to bring up Amir Khan since we're speaking about him? He did pull in, as Eddie Hearn's words, the highest rated
facts on that
pay-per-view.
Is there facts? Because I was watching the DAZN USA stream. It was only at 31 point.
Well, what did I tell you though? I said most of Amir Khan fans are over in the UK and they're probably watching it on Sky Sports.
He only got 4,000 US fans. He only got 4,000 US fans because I did see a peak at 4.1. So he's only got 4,000 US fans.
I mean, with the whole like one day thing, I think it's like 48,000 now, like 50,000.
Oh, so poor promotion. We're gonna say poor promotion.
You gotta look at time.
It was announced 2 days before.
It was in the daytime too, though, and it's a different platform. First time, but Rob, how was it over in the UK? Because it seems like that's where it really took off.
You're muted, buddy.
Yeah, Eddie tweeted today that it's done the highest UK
UK views of a non-subscription pay-per-view fight.
Of a subscription channel, so like Sky Sports or BT, but yeah, non pay-per-view in UK boxing history. And it's really sketchy here. You can't find, it's not like you guys get your Nielsen ratings and you find all that stuff out.
Basically, you're saying Eddie could be lying.
No, you said that. I didn't.
You're insinuating it then.
Did Frank Bruno
use and all that? So I don't know. I don't know why you would suddenly say that about this fight. I'm not sure what you're.
Damn, super chat from JD in Texas. F Danny. That's because he bet $250 on Danny.
Yeah, I bet Jay
Orlando.
Jay ain't saying that.
Jay is good. He says he's going to New Orleans with that money.
Jay saying fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, Porter. But yeah, Amir Khan, I don't know. You guys want to talk about it?
Super chat. Okay, it looks like Ken Porter is ready. He wanted an intro, man. So, Ron, would you got anything good we can play in name of Ken?
I mean, I can play that nice little intro I did on how your boy picked. No, I ain't got no music.
That ain't gonna work. But we could go evil laugh, Ken. You know why? Because it's like, you know, you have the last laugh.
I got one.
There you go.
Can't handle the truth.
Talk to us, Mr. Porter. How are you feeling? WBC trainer too now. Got the champ.
Got that trainer belt.
Trainer belt going on.
Listen, man. You guys have no clue what a trainer has to go through to get a guy just up them steps, man. And you guys have no clue. Y'all turn on your computer and you think you can start talking about it and you have some kind of understanding. You have no clue what we have to go through to get these guys to perform, to compete.
Talk us through it.
Can't talk you through it, dude. You weren't there in 1992 when I first took him to the gym. When he couldn't fit boxing shorts, so I had to put pajamas on him. You weren't there. I can't talk you through that. There's no way I could talk you through the first time I took him to a tournament and I didn't have a car, so I had to catch a Greyhound. Can't talk you through that.
So you're saying all those tough times and all those hardships.
No one else has ever put a pair of gloves on Shawn Porter for a boxing match except me. From the first time he started to the day that he just beat Danny Garcia, no one else has ever put a pair of boxing gloves on Shawn Porter but me. That means I started somebody from the scratch to where they are right now. And that means I took on every responsibility in every situation and every circumstance that he dealt with in his life. So if you could consider your life and someone taking on all your problems and all your responsibilities and everything that you had to deal with to this point in his life, that's been my job. But
so basically, you must be pretty fucking proud right now.
No, it's ongoing. It don't stop. It don't stop. It's what's expected. He expects me to do this, and God wanted me to do this, so I do it because I love my son. I don't do it for any other reason. But you know, it's not just as easy as y'all think it is. And you know, the guy that we just fought the other night, great fighter. I'm looking for the next great fighter, Errol Spence, the next great fighter, Bud Crawford. I want my kid to fight all those guys.
So Ken, can you speak on the fight last night? Did you ever think that the fight was not going in Shawn's direction? Because there was a little exchange over in the corner where you guys going back and forth, and we heard a little bit of it. But can you give us like a little bit more insight to what was going on?
Who am I speaking with, please?
My name is Michael Gross, Gross.
Nice to meet you, Mike.
The pleasure is all mine, sir.
When you say back and forth, for the most part in that particular fight, I noticed if I take myself out of the situation, I mean, if I go back and watch it on TV, which I haven't and won't for a while, but if I go back and watch it on TV, I might see something different. But for the most part, as I recall, just a little more than or less than 24 hours ago, the coaching in the corner was pretty calm. There was a point where I felt that I needed to put a sense of urgency into my son. And the reason for that was it's been such a long time since I asked him to box the way he was boxing the other night that he was kind of getting too relaxed in that mode. And it took us a good 6-8 weeks to get him in that mode. So for the last 6-8 weeks, I've actually been holding Shawn back from being aggressive. So it got to a point where I realized, wait a minute, he's not giving me the aggression that I need. And so there was that moment. I do recall, I guess I've seen a couple of clips on the Instagram and things like that. I recall when I told him that I had did everything I was supposed to do to get you here. Now you got to do what you're supposed to do to win this fight. So my preparation was tremendous, and he followed through with everything I asked him to do. But now I needed him to put it all together on fight night. So that's what was going on right there. I felt that because of the way we had trained to prepare for the fight and certain strategy we were using, that it was taken away from him being aggressive.
I speak of the way you guys came out and like started training. Like this probably was the best Shawn Porter that I've seen in recent memory. Can you speak on like the game plan you guys were like trying to come out with? Because Shawn was like not really pushing the issue that much, but he still was being aggressive and he still was working off his jab. So it was a different Shawn Porter that I've seen.
Yeah, it's gonna be a different Shawn Porter than you see, but I mean that's because you guys, everything we do is fight specific. So depending upon who we fight, we're gonna do different things. And this particular fight, I can relate it to Adrian Broner, where Shawn was boxing more because we knew that Broner was not confident, and we knew if we got after him that. You know, it might make it harder for us. We wanted him to get some level of confidence so that he could maybe exchange with us. I think with Danny, our strategy was to do a lot of different things that we do well and he doesn't. Accent our positives and they will become negatives for him. I'm quite sure if you go back and look at it, you're going to find out we actually counterpunched more than Danny did. There were times where we made Danny throw punches and we countered him. And he's supposed to be the counterpuncher. But, you know, Shawn has the ability to do it. If we work on it and we apply it, he can do it. So he did it last night. As far as this being the best Shawn Porter you've seen, I think you probably just seeing something different. So therefore you think it's the best. But I'll go ahead and let you guys know, since nobody knew, this was nowhere near the best of Shawn Porter. This was probably about 80 to 85% of Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter just got cleared to use his left hand 2 weeks ago. His hand has been broke this entire camp.
What?
This entire camp. He never used, we could not use our left hand the whole camp. So for the people who have no clue or look and see different things or think they know what's going on, dude, I just trained a kid with one hand for the last 6 to 8 weeks, and we won a championship. We didn't let our hand go into the night of the fight.
Now, Ken, I got to ask you a question about a rule the WBC is trying to put into to play about keeping families out of the corner. Like, in my personal opinion, if they did that, then we might not get Shawn Porter and Danny Garcia last night because both of the trainers are dads. And like you said, we went there in 1992 when y'all guys started this journey. So how do you feel about the WBC trying to put that kind of rule in place?
That's not a good rule. It's not good at all. And Shawn said it the other day. I don't think it's going to fly. I don't think it's going to work. It's not going to be something that boxing will accept. He said it the other day. Boxing is a family sport. So when you first come into boxing, more than likely it's your grandfather or your father or your uncle or some family member who's got you watching it on TV. It's more than likely your grandfather, your father, your uncle, someone close to your family member who takes you to the gym because they box. You're going to be involved with something that family is involved with. So the best trainers that we have, your Virgil Hunters, your Barry Hunters, your Demetrius Andrades, your Angel Garcias, they're either a father or they are a father figure to the athlete. And the closest that we can be and what we want, the relationship we want with any athlete that we're training is to become close enough for them that they're confident in us, that we are like a father to a son. That's what we strive for. If we have actually have the blood, relative son actually competing, we can't get it no better than that. So I don't think that's going to ever work. That's not going to be something that's going to be acceptable. If that was the case, we would never have Mauricio Suleiman being the president of the WBC, because he came into the WBC because his father was the president.
Good point. Real quick, how did Shawn end up breaking his hand? And that's my last question.
He hurt his hand in the Adrian Granados fight. And it was probably the 5th round or so. And if you were to go back and look at my Instagram fight week of that fight, I believe it would have been Monday after the fight. So Sunday we got home, we flew home. That Monday I was taking him in to see specialists, and we had the x-rays up there. And over periods of time, it just continued, it wouldn't go away. I mean, we had some initial things done to it and looked at it and did a lot of different testing, but eventually he had to go in and have surgery on his hand. And he did not get cleared to actually hit a bag or hit anyone until 2 weeks prior to this fight. And that is well documented because we used the Los Angeles Lakers doctor. And when he was cleared to do that, even in training at that point, I told him I did not want him to punch full force with that hand because we had to save it for fight night. And just by the grace of God, he didn't have any problems at all. I'm very thankful for that.
Hey, Ken. My name's Ron. I met you actually at the Andre Berto and Devin Alexander fight. I know you probably met a lot of people. We had a very small conversation. Now we had an early discussion about how fighters and fights themselves. Well, actually, before I ask the question, let me just actually first congratulate you and your son and everything. What you did was incredible. More importantly, his name is now listed with the other WBC champions like Floyd Mayweather, Zab Judah, Corey Spinks, Oscar De La Hoya, Pernell Whitaker. So his name is now in the history books with other great fighters like that. So congratulations on that big win. But the question I wanted to ask you, and I know there's probably little room that you can probably talk, but we had big discussions on big fights happening. Obviously, we saw that Errol Spence was coming in the ring. He was talking about wanting to make the fight. Shawn Porter responding saying, hey, this is the easiest fight that we can make. Now, there is probably some truth to that, but when two fighters truly do want to fight each other, is it that simple? Can a fight happen like that? Or is there still a lot of variables and politics that can prevent fights like that, like the fights that your son wants to fight, or even making a big fight like with Spence and Porter?
Hey, Ron. No, it's not that easy, but the biggest part of the hurdle is already done. You got two guys who want to fight each other. So that's the biggest thing out the way already. So Errol is willing to discuss a fight with us. We're willing to discuss the fight with him. Danny wasn't willing to discuss a fight with us for over 3 years, point blank and simple. Prior to this, which I've been given information on more than one occasion that Errol said that he tried to put a fight together with Shawn. That's never happened. We've never been contacted. Errol had never said to me before the other night that he wanted to fight Shawn. We knew he wanted to fight Shawn. That kind of conversation goes on in the media, but no one had ever called me before that and said, Errol Spence wants to try to make a fight with you guys. Can we go to the table and discuss it? Never received that phone call. I had never called anyone on his side and said I wanted to fight Errol Spence. What Shawn wanted to do is what he did, and he accomplished it. He fought Danny Garcia. He got the victory, and now he's a WBC champion. What he wants to do now, moving forward, is to fight Errol Spence. The biggest part of the problem is the two individuals wanting to fight each other. So we got that out of the way. That part of it is already done. But it's not just as easy to put the rest of it together. And you also guys got to keep in mind, there's this other guy by the name of Keith Thurman that, still has kind of say-so in a lot of things that go on in terms of this being his former championship, and he didn't actually lose it. So, we can discuss it. We want to discuss it. I don't think that it's as hard as it's nowhere near as hard as what we just went through with Danny, or even what we went through with Andre Berto.
Is there a fight you guys rather have?
Mike, hold on. Quick question. With that being said, with you having that situation with Keith Thurman that you brought up, is that something that's going to be more like a sanctioning body issue that we find out? Maybe that you were saying Keith Thurman may have a say. Would this be something that, unfortunately, if Shawn and Spence do work out something, and that's what all the fans want to see, Keith Thurman could potentially come in with the WBC and stall this fight out?
Yeah, I know he could do that. We would hope that he wouldn't. We would hope that he would, say, okay, I've been out and these guys are doing their thing now. So, it's only right to let them continue with the momentum that they have going. So we, when Errol got up in the ring the other night and said what he said, Shawn said this is the easiest fight to make because he wants to fight Errol. Errol wants to fight us. We want to fight Errol. I hope I can get a phone call tonight saying, hey, this much money's on the table, so we can get this started. Because right now is prime for Shawn, it's prime for Danny, it's prime for Errol. Well, Errol's not as old, quite as old, but it's prime for Danny. It's prime for Keith Thurman and Bud Crawford. All these guys are prime. This is their time. Errol is the guy that just a little bit younger than them, but he's the guy that, has got a really big buzz on his name right now. So we want to fight him.
But
now, Kenny,
hold on a minute. It's Nestor, obviously. But realistically, Keith can't really interrupt anything. No one is expecting Keith to come straight back to a Shawn Porter fight. He's going to need a tune-up.
Realistically, he could do a lot of things that you guys aren't aware of, but we hope that's not the problem. We hope that's not the case.
Ken, Enrique Church here. You met me before. Casual fan.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, brother. Yo, I just want to bask a little bit on the glory that you are experiencing. In the beginning of the fight, people choose sides. They pick Danny. They pick Shawn. By the third and fourth round, the scorecards were starting to go towards your way. I did pick Danny in the beginning as a choice of who I wanted to win, but I am a fan of both. And like I tell anybody who calls in, boxing is very whoever you connect to in the matchup culturally. A casual fan can go that way, and hardcore they pick based off resume and all these other things. I did pick Shawn Porter as the winner. When the cards were being announced, I was like, Shawn Porter has this fight. That's what I wanted to ask you. Did you know you had it in the bag after the third round and later into the fight? You was like, we got this, son. Let's keep it doing. Keep digging. The diamonds are at the end of the cave. We got it. Like, what were your feelings towards like the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th? Did you know you had it in the bag?
Nah, I think our batteries was out in that light in that cave, man. We was trying to figure it out. I felt that, and I still feel now. Danny's a great fighter.
Me too.
And that we were having a great fight. It was closer than I wanted it to be. I was imploring Shawn when I did to put his foot on the gas pedal because I felt that it may not be going our way, and I really wanted him to push it and make Danny fight us. And other than I know there was some big shots to Danny Landy here or there that may have swayed judges, what have you. I felt that Shawn was right there where I wanted him to be, and going down the stretch, 10, 11, 12 is where we were going to really take over. So I was confident at that point, but along the way, as you said, early on in that cave, I wasn't that confident. I mean, even the first round, because here's another thing that I look at. When I change Shawn's style and he fights a different way, judges expect him to fight a certain way, so they're looking to score for that type of fight. And when they don't see that, they're, for lack of words here, their memory is of him fighting in a certain way. If he's not doing that, then they may think he's not being successful.
Right.
So I was concerned with that. So even in the first round, Shawn being tactical to somebody, they're going to perceive it. Maybe he's scared, or maybe he's tentative, or, maybe he's worried about Danny's power, or this punch or that punch. No, what we were actually doing was we were trying to make Danny commit to throwing his punches so that we could counter him.
Right. Just to give you a perspective, where I was seated, it was like, like Don King once said, the Matador and the Toto. It was one-sided, and then it became a Shawn Porter row. Just so you know that people gained the confidence like after the fourth round and strictly were giving it to Shawn Porter from where we were seated. And it was pretty close. So that's why I asked that question. Were you confident early in the ring? So early in the fight. So hearing you say no is a great answer, man. I appreciate it.
I told Danny after the fight, and the Angel notwithstanding, Angel's, he's just a different kind of dude. I'm gonna be nice about his call him a different type of dude. He didn't want to hear nothing I had to say. So I try to lock eyes with Danny and genuinely, humbly say to him, man, you fought a great fight. If you had got this victory, I would not have been jumping up and down claiming that we got robbed. because I thought Danny fought a great fight. And I told him that to his face. And his dad didn't want to hear it. He's still screaming at that time while I was trying to talk to Danny. He's still screaming politics, politics. And one of the Watson brothers, I believe it was Marcus, was standing there at the time. And Marcus turned to Angel and he said, listen, he's just trying to be truthful and real on how he feels, you know? Yeah. And Danny said, I appreciate that. Thank you. And then before Danny could turn away, I touched him and I locked eyes with him again. And I said, no, I really need you to understand that I felt you fought a great fight. If you had got this victory, I would not run around claiming that we got robbed. I would have felt that the guy fought a great fight and he got the victory. That's, you know, so I really, you know, I think both of them, they put up a hell of a fight. It was much more tactical than people may have expected it to be. And then down the line, you know, at the end of the deal, you know, Shawn really was bringing more pressure than he had been earlier. But I think that was the way it needed to go for us. Unlike most of these people, most of these guys in the division who don't give rematches. I would give Danny Garcia a rematch. He could get a rematch. We would have said, you know, let's do a rematch, but we had Errol Spence climb up in the ring, which we knew he was coming. But we had Errol Spence climb up in the ring and say, hey, let's make this happen. So we got to definitely visit that. We need to discuss that. We need to talk about how much money is on the table, and we need to see if we can get a date and a venue that everybody can be happy about. And that's the most important thing, to have these guys fight now while they're in their prime.
Ken, real quick, you mentioned rematch and how much money's on the table. Is it possible that the money could be greater versus the Danny Garcia rematch? Would you go that route versus Errol Spence if the money was less?
For some reason, I don't think it would be. I don't think it would be. I think now that Errol has established himself the way he has and the following that he has, and everybody buzzing about him being, you know, the top guy in the division.
And Shawn's win over Danny Garcia.
I'm sorry?
And Shawn's win over Danny Garcia will make it much more of a spectacle of a fight, Errol Spence versus.
Yeah. And you got some other, you know, you got some other stuff that's going to play its parts in there. You know, Errol, I don't know if you guys caught that last night when he first said anything about the fight. He told about his feelings towards me.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you caught that, but Errol and I have a relationship. Like, you know, Errol used to come to Vegas early in his career. He would call me and say, Coach, you know, can you go to the gym with me? I want to spar Mayweather. Will you work the corner? I was the guy that was in the corner when you sparred Mayweather. That wasn't Derek James. So even prior to that, the relationship we had before that, we've traveled all around the world. I took him to Russia. I was his head coach. We went to Ukraine. I was his head coach. We did the World Championships together. I was his technical coach for that team. I was the technical coach for the 2012 Olympic team that he was on.
That don't mean you know him.
I'm sorry?
That don't mean you know him.
That don't mean I know him?
Like, he could be a totally different person as a fighter right now. He sounded like a totally different person on that podium last night.
Listen. Whether I know him or I don't know him, what I'm saying is that creates other angles to the story for you to talk about. That's something else for you to talk about.
Well, I got something to talk about.
You could say I don't know him, but that would be something else you could talk about. You could actually
real quick.
That, oh yeah,
while we
that's worked his corner when he lost the fight. I was in his corner when he lost the fight, but maybe you don't want to know about that.
Now I want to talk about the fact that Earl, you're right. His name was buzzing and is buzzing.
It is.
But they was talking about pay-per-view. I don't want to hear none. They was talking about pay-per-view with him and Mikey. So are you going to push the issue? Because I seen the press release from Fox Sports. They got a 4-year deal, and it says pay-per-view style fights. Or Rob, could you get the actual verbiage? Like, I'm pretty sure they're going to do Fox pay-per-views. So is Errol Spence and Shawn Porter a Fox pay-per-view, or are you going to let it go like, you know, Showtime?
No, it's got to be a Fox pay-per-view.
That's what I want. This is what I want on record right here, so that people could say at ThaBoxingVoice.com spoke to Ken Porter, and Ken Porter said Errol Spence versus Shawn Porter for the unification has to be Fox pay-per-view. This is what I want. Help me make headlines here, Ken. One hand
it
washes the
has
other.
to be, because there was this very intelligent man that gave me all this information a few months ago.
Who was that?
And you, and I didn't know anything about it. And I'm like, okay, let me go do a little research on this. And I'm like, oh, snap. And that ain't the word I was using at the time. But basically, you know, it makes absolutely no sense if you can put together a fight with Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence on pay-per-view, and you can't do the same thing with Shawn Porter and Errol Spence, then you don't need to call us. We're not in that. We're not going to have that conversation.
And obviously, Shawn Porter does better ratings than Mikey Garcia. I mean, that's a proven fact.
Well, I'm very happy to say that, like, Errol stepped up there and said what he said. We're willing to do it. And the only thing that, you know, I mean, it's a lot of things. It's a long way from the lip to the cup. There's a lot of things that
it is a long way. It is a long way, but there's some obvious questions that could be answered right now. Mike, you got to wait, because I got so much ammunition. There's some obvious questions to be answered right now. Like, obviously, Eddie Hearn is stirring the pot, but he did leave an offer out there of $8 to $10 million for Mikey versus Earl on DAZN. Now, we all know you guys are not going over there or entertaining Eddie's offer, especially now that Al Heyman has done 2 deals for $60+ million with Showtime and Fox. But are you going to try and get that money matched? Because there still is a guy out there offering $8 to $10 million for Mikey versus Earl. So I'm sure at this point, with Shawn winning the WBC title, this being a unification, let's not forget he just bought the rights to the next 2 fights for Usyk, who's, you know, undisputed cruiserweight. I mean, he's just throwing a lot of money around is what I'm saying. So are you going to try and get that match? Like, are we going to see headlines where it's like Earl versus Shawn, $10 million a piece? Because we see headlines for Tyson Fury versus Wilder, $20 million a piece. Just saying.
Yeah, you saying it and it sounds good. I mean, I do business on this side. I'm not doing business with that guy. I have done business with him. Last year, we worked together on 2 different deals, which had absolutely nothing to do with Shawn. But he has never approached me or discussed anything or even mentioned Shawn, because I don't think he ever wanted Shawn to have another shot at Kell Brooks. So that he's never. I've never had a conversation. I've probably had a dozen conversations with Eddie Hearn, and he's never mentioned Shawn Porter's name. It's almost like Shawn ain't my son when I'm talking to him. So, or my fighter for that matter. So that's never happened. But if anything legitimate was to happen, like he was legitimately make the offer, I don't mean just someone talking about it. I mean, put something on paper, and that type of offer is out there, then I would have to look at that.
Well, since we're speaking of offers that you would have to look at, you said he would never want you to fight Kell Brook. Now that Shawn is the A side with a WBC belt, why doesn't Shawn offer Kell Brook the rematch to avenge that loss?
It's not bigger than Errol Spence for us. And Errol Spence is the guy that we want to fight now. It's not bigger, not to me. I think Kell Brook is much less at this point in his career, you know, than Errol. Errol's got to be the hottest name in the division. One of the hottest names in boxing, period. I mean, obviously we got, you know, Wilder and Joshua, the big heavyweights, but, you know, he's got to be in there now, one of the top names.
Okay. Well, Mike, I know you're chomping at the bit. And
No. Yeah. So Ken, Ringwalk, Daniel Alvarez here with the Boxing Voice. First of all, Kenny, congratulations to both you and your son on a tremendous fight. Absolutely, hands down, one of the fights of the year. So congratulations on that title victory, and Sean's WBC pickup as well. So my question to you is, you spoke about Sean not being able to use his left hand until 2 weeks ago. Did Sean make it out of that ring yesterday injury-free, healthy, no issues at all?
Yes, he did. Actually, I'm very thankful to that. We took more precaution in the camp, obviously, because of the injury that we had incurred and him having to have surgery. And you could never, I mean, you just can't gauge. I mean, the doctor can look at it and do the x-rays and the MRIs and everything and say, oh, he's good. But you can't gauge it until you actually hit somebody and see how it feels. So we held back from that until fight time. And I'm happy to say, after the fight, the doctors checked him out. They couldn't find anything. I asked him myself, I watched him, and I never saw anything in the fight that told me he was having that kind of problem. I know there may have been a little tentativeness on his behalf to, turn some of them hooks off like he normally would before he had injured it, but that's going to come with time.
Well, if you're saying that we saw maybe 80 to 85% of Sean's fullest potential, I think all of us would be in agreement that we're waiting to see the 100% Sean, because at least in my eyes and most of my counterparts, I felt that was the best overall Shawn Porter that we have seen to date. So congratulations on such a great fight and being able to pull it off, and pull it off in the fashion that he was able to. He fought a fight that we typically don't see Sean fight, and he was able to box. He was able to counter against the known counter puncher in Danny Garcia. So he definitely fought a great fight. So congratulations on that.
Yeah. They had a fight. They was rocking out, man. They was throwing some shots. It was great though. It was great, and I appreciate that. I think, again, and the question was asked, but a guy like Kell Brook or a guy like Bud Crawford, those guys aren't in, they're not in our reach. It's not really realistic. But Errol Spence, as he said, hey, we deal with the same people, we deal with the same network, we deal with the same venue. So a lot of the things that would get in the way of these other guys, we don't have to deal with that, We don't have to deal with those problems because they're dealing with the same venue. PBC is now home. I mean, the Barclays is now home to PBC for X amount of fights a year. We're dealing with the same advisor, people that, I don't have to say their name, but same advisor. And the two individuals want to fight each other. Sean wants to fight Errol. Errol wants to fight Sean. So I think it can get done. I'm very hopeful.
And
Awesome, Kenny.
Can you give us your thoughts on the Crawford, just the Crawford situation overall, right? Because he continues to have an opinion on other welterweights, specifically welterweights on the PBC spectrum. And I'm selling my narrative, as the people like to say, Ness narrative is Crawford is the fighter, which is the boss, the manager, trainer, advisor. Everybody works for him. So if he really wanted to fight Earl, Sean, Keith, he could tell his people that's who he wants to fight, and essentially they would make the fight. Am I wrong? Am I drinking the Kool-Aid? Is that not how it works? Like if Sean woke up tomorrow and told you, Dad, I want to fight Terrence Crawford. He keeps saying he owns this block. I don't care what the people are talking about, Earl. I want to fight the guy that the people think will beat Earl, which is Terrence Crawford. What would you tell him?
No, it ain't that easy. We can't get it done that way. This is no knock against any of the fighters, but they're just not in control of. They have no say-so over the venue. They have no say-so over the network. and those are the people, you know, in control, and they have the money. So, you know, we like more like the fight is more like third or fourth in line between networks, venues, advisors. I mean, we're not, you know, Bud can't make that call. He just can't. If he could, we'd probably see a lot more of that going on. But you know, Shawn can't make that call either. I mean, we both have agreed. We're in agreement that we want to fight Errol Spence next. When that happens, we don't know. We would like to see that happen, but it's got to be the network. It's got to be the venue in agreement, and then, you know, the business part of it with the advisor. Hey guys, I want you over here with this person. I want you over there with that person. So all of those things have to come together, and everybody has to be on, you know, the same page to make it happen. And it's just not that easy. So Bud probably can't just make that call. I'm sure he'd love to fight the Errol Spencers and the Keith Thurmans and the Shawn Porters and, you know, all of those guys, but he's got to deal with Benavidez because that's the only guy over there. And I wasn't on the show, but I was just coming into the show. And can you break down for me how you're saying, is he the Timothy Bradley now? What did you mean by that? I think I know what you mean, but could you break it down for me?
I'm saying, look, it's not like Timothy Bradley doesn't have a good career, right? And he'll probably get in the Hall of Fame. Timothy has done a lot, especially in his early career. I mean, you cannot knock what he's done. He gave so many fighters so many fighters who were undefeated, he took their O's. Carlos Abreu, Devin Alexander, just dozens, right? But he never fought the guys. They were all on the other side. He got to fight Pacquiao in his prime, and I see why he signed. You know, that first fight was $5 million, the next fight was $8 million, so it made sense for him back then. But there is no more Pacquiao on Top Rank. We just went through the resumes of the champions on Top Rank. They fight guys from Argentina, Colombia. They just find dudes from Ghana or Africa that we've never heard of, and they make them popular, and that's cool because boxing is international. But the guys on the other side of the street, they're fighting each other. They're fighting no names. They're Olympians. It's just a different pool, in my opinion. That's all. I mean, you know, look, Bradley, again, he's great, but he had to take the Ruslan fight. That wasn't supposed to happen. It wasn't supposed to look like that, but because Bradley had no fighters, he was forced to fight Ruslan. That shaved years off his career. That didn't go as planned. And, you know, I know in some weird way he thanks that fight because that's kind of what made fight fans love him again because they hated him and sent them death threats after the fake Pacquiao win. But fuck that. I'd rather you hate me than have to take a whooping like that for you to love me.
Little unknown fact, Ruslan turned us down twice. Title fights. Little unknown fact.
Yeah, but at 147, he was always at 140. He never really even moved up to 47. You guys were never at 140, so that fight had to be taking place 7 pounds above his natural weight. I would have turned it down too.
It's just a business. Just a business.
So you still ain't give us your thoughts, and that's what we want on this Bud Crawford situation. Like, I know you said he can't make it happen, but
I don't think he can make those calls. And the situation that he's in is not going to be the easiest situation for him to get out of. Well, I guess he ain't getting out of it. Didn't he just resign?
Yeah, he just resigned.
You know, everybody got to do what they think is best for them. I'm a Bud Crawford fan. I love to watch Bud fight. I was just with Bud a couple weeks ago here in Las Vegas, and Bud is something else. He came up to Shawn. No, he had me call Shawn on the FaceTime, and he told Shawn, "You better fuck him up." About Danny. So after that, we got the congratulations from Bud. But yeah, it's a different breed over there, and there's a lot of guys over there you don't know their names, you can't pronounce their names. That's not something I want to be a part of. I want to fight the guys that are the top guys, and the top guys in this division that are household names.
And what about Earl's opinion of Crawford and Earl feeling that he is better than Crawford and people need to stop comparing him to Crawford?
I don't know anything about that. I haven't been.
Oh, let me play it for you. No problem. No problem. We have it.
The last few weeks, obviously, I was focused on Shawn, so I wouldn't even listen to
No, this happened last night. I guess while Shawn was taking a shower, they had a little press conference with Earl Spence waiting for you guys to get ready. And this is what Earl said. See if you can hear this.
He got 3 coaches. We don't know who the head coach is. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a way better fighter than Terrence Crawford. Who has he fought? The only name fight you fight is Yorkers Game Boy, the guy that he fought. I fought Lamar Peterson, Chris Algieri, Kell Brook. I mean, and how many fights he got? 30-some fights? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he's a great fighter, things like that, but you can't put him to me. Like the guy he just fought for the undisputed welterweight, light welterweight champion of the world, Regis Prograis stopped him later than he did. You know what I'm saying? So you got to add that all into conclusion to who you say the top welterweight. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff is smoke and mirrors. He got 3 coaches. We don't.
Smoke and mirror. He says Crawford's record is smoke and mirrors. Do you need me to refresh your memory on Crawford's record, Ken?
I just like to hear it anyway.
Oh, perfect. Let me pull this up here. I know right now my co-host Michael Gross, who introduced himself, right now his stomach is churned and he can't wait to hear what you got to say. He's got little butterflies right now. All right, so Crawford is coming into a Jose Benavidez is who he will be fighting. But before that, it was Jeff Horn. And before that, he unified the 140-pound division by defeating Julius Undango. Before that, he defeated the gold medalist from the Dominican Republic, Felix Diaz, who had a very controversial loss to Lamont Peterson, where some people thought he won. And before that, he beat John Molina, who was an Al Heyman fighter at the time and was sent to HBO. Before that, he beat Victor Postal, most known for never getting to fight Danny. Before that, he beat Hank Lundy, who you know well's been in plenty of camps with you. Before that, he beat Canada's own Derry Jean. And before that, he beat formerly known as TMT promoted Thomas Delorme from Puerto Rico and St. Thomas. Before that, he beat Raimundo Beltran, who just lost his world title to Jose Pedraza. And before that, Yurokis Gamboa. Before that, he went to the United Kingdom to beat Ricky Burns. And he had 2 fights on HBO versus Andre Klimov and Alejandro Sanabria. But his debut on HBO was when he decided to step up in weight on 7 days' notice and take on British Prescott at 140 when he was a 130-pounder at the time and knock him out on HBO. And then that's what sent that whole list of fighters rolling. So, thoughts, my friend?
I think he had a great resume. I really do. I think he's done a lot of great things, and unifying the title is an amazing feat within itself. So, I'm not in agreement with Errol on his record being smoke and mirrors. But I will say this about Errol. I remember this way back in the amateurs. Errol has always been a student. He studies boxing. He was always studying film. He was always looking at film on the computer all the time of all the fighters that were professional boxers when he was an amateur. So whenever he says something like that, he studied his guys. He knows what he's talking about. But it's his opinion.
Well, that means he studied your son.
Of course. Absolutely, he studied my son. Yeah.
But you've equally studied him. So I know you're not going to give us all, but you can definitely afford to give us one of Earl Spence's flaws since you've been in so many camps with him.
He believes in himself too much.
I thought you needed confidence to be a fighter.
Of course you do.
And self-belief.
Of course you do.
So that was not a flaw. That's more like you trying to shake the question.
No.
Or are you saying he's cocky?
It can be a gift and it can be a curse.
Okay, one real quick question that I wanted to ask about the Errol Spence fight. Now, with that fight, you guys will be unifying the titles, and we all know what happened with the IBF thing after the Brook fight. And I heard in previous interviews you say that you guys would happily fight Errol Spence, but you wouldn't want to pay the sanction fees for that title. Now, I know becoming a unified champ is very important. So after you guys win that title, would you guys keep it, or would you guys vacate it and let it go to like a mandatory?
Dude, that's. I ain't even tell you what we just paid for a sanction fee. And if we hadn't won the fight,
Tell us. Deontay says he pays $40,000 every time he fights. How much do you pay?
Come on up, man. Come on up. Anyway, I'm not gonna tell you what we just. It ain't no 40,000. Trust me.
Man, you gotta work out. You gotta work out a deal. You know why? That's because Deontay knows he's gonna be knocking people out for a while, so he probably worked out like a dozen percentage fight deal or something.
Well, that's gonna be a problem, man. That's gonna be a real problem. That's gonna be a real problem. See, that's gonna be a real problem because that man's gonna have to look me in my face and tell me why he stripped my kid from being in the top 25 and why he didn't never return my phone call. And it's been 3 goddamn years now. So that's a problem for me. That's a serious problem for me. And you want me to pay your ass again? That's some bullshit right there. So I mean, yeah, that's a problem. We need to be fighting that man, but I don't give a shit about that title. I don't want nothing to do with it. I ain't trying to pay you for something that you're going to strip me from the top 25. Kind of, nah, dude. They want too much money to begin with, and it's a game. When the guy loses the fight, I'm going to make sure he doesn't get a rematch by dropping him from the top 25, and I won't return the damn phone calls. No, that's a problem. We got a problem there, Aaron. We got a problem there. Yeah, we can discuss this. We can put money on the table, but I ain't giving them shit.
Also, in an interview, I heard you say that you really don't give a damn about these belts because of the sanction fees. So do you ever see a point in time where Shawn Porter can become like maybe a Floyd Mayweather or like a Canelo and be bigger than the belts?
Nah, that ain't happening. Shawn don't have that kind of personality. He ain't doing those kind of things, and that I think that's a once in a lifetime or 2 in a lifetime. I mean, I don't think that there's a lot of guys out there that can be put in that position. But yeah, we can definitely fight without putting the belt on the line, because we could have been fighting Adrian Broner for the WBC at 147, but we fought Adrian Broner for the right to beat Adrian Broner, and we didn't have nothing cut from our check. And fighting Danny last night and knowing how much money the WBC received from us and how much they received from Danny, win, lose, or draw. If it had been a draw last night, those guys still get all that money, you know. My belt case in there, you know, where I got my Shawn's belts at, it's full. We got 2 belts last night. I got a coach's belt. He got the WBC belt. And we don't have no room for that stuff in here anymore. We, you know, it's going to be nice to talk about years from now and mention that we fought Danny for it and it was a great fight. But, you know, they can keep these belts, man. Give these guys their money and stop ripping them off, because it's horrible how much money they have to pay.
And my very last question. Now we all know that I don't know. Well, I'm not gonna say that we all know. What is Shawn Porter's contract or partnership with Showtime like? Is he able to go to other networks and fight, or is he strictly a Showtime Fox fighter?
No, he doesn't have a contract with Showtime. He can go wherever he wants to go. He can go.
So
he could go to any promoter. He could go to any entity that has anything to do with boxing in the United States or any other countries. There's nothing binding him to anybody. Nothing at all.
Ken, you ain't going nowhere.
We may not be going nowhere, but he asked the question, so I answered.
You know how
So
many?
are you guys open to other options from other networks?
Ken ain't crossing Al, man. You don't cross Al.
There's at least one big name out there that called me while I'm in the airport today, wanting to know if we could have a meeting this week. And that's nice. It's nice to.
Well, we know who that is. We know who that is. Since you said Eddie never called you, it's obviously Bob, because Oscar, last time I checked, he ain't big no more. So
you're a smart guy.
Well, I mean, I ain't get this far this quick for no reason. I mean, so when we going to this meeting and where's happening at?
It ain't been that quick. You've been putting in work, man.
Yeah, but it ain't been as many years as my man Dan and none of them.
Yeah, but I mean, no, well, yeah. So yeah, there are some people making calls, and it's nice to be called, but we want to fight Errol Spence, so there's really no consideration somebody to have to top that kind of situation.
Damn,
and
so that means that Bob Arum is actively trying to get his welterweight champion fights. Look at little Mike over there happy. Yo, Ken didn't confirm that it's Bob he's gonna meet with.
It's not even that, bro. I'm a fan of good fights. You know what I'm saying? I want to see the best fight the best. And I understand. I understand from the business perspective of Terrence Crawford. You got to do what's best for you. Just like Shawn Porter got to do what's best for him. And the Errol Spence fight is probably the best fight for Shawn Porter at this point in time.
Like Earl on pay-per-view. I'm proud of Earl, man. They doing his thing. But all of these guys, man, they're really doing their thing. And I think
but Ken,
go back and watch. Yeah, go ahead.
Terrence is on ESPN. He got paid $3 million to beat up Jeff Horn. So I mean, I'm sure ESPN could come up with another $3 million for Shawn.
You saying $6 million?
Yeah.
Here's the problem I have with that. I don't believe that making that kind of move makes sense, because you go over there, I'm just speaking hypothetically, you go over there, and what you got to do to get to Terrence? You got to go through some guy you never heard of from another country. And you got to go through some other guy that you never heard of from another country. And depending upon what happens, you may or may not get the opportunity to fight him. So it wouldn't be something that I would do. Just, it doesn't work for me.
I'm trying to tell Mike, you see, Mike, this is a trainer that knows the game. He's saying that Bob would set him up with two nobodies. You know what I'm saying? Similar to Andres Klimov and Alejandro Sanabria. You know, you starting to get it now.
That's one of the main reasons Regis Prograde didn't go over there and fight Jose Ramirez, because they wanted him to fight somebody in the interim, then build the fight. So I know this, bro.
Oh, all right. Oh, okay. He just chooses to ignore it when it comes to Bud. All right. Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
Now, quick question.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I actually got one more for you. How long are you gonna wait on Espinoza, Heyman Boxing LLC, Barclays Center to give you a date for Shawn? Because you usually like to keep Shawn active. He's not like these other guys that sit around waiting on people. Now he's a champ too. Like, I'm not expecting you to be treated like the B-side, even though if Earl thinks Crawford's the B-side in his fight, I'm sure he thinks Shawn's the B-side in this fight.
I would like to see Shawn fighting late spring, early summer. I like to see him in an official camp, officially in camp. I don't just mean cross-training and staying in shape. I mean officially in a camp, working on strategy for the person that we know who that actual opponent is going to be. I like to see him in there.
That's almost 7, 8, 9 months, Ken.
From now.
Yeah.
April.
Is he still favoring the left hand?
You sure he ain't get hurt? That's 9 months from now. Either 7 or 9 would be April, early June or spring is either April or June.
May.
That's 9 months from right now.
Well, I'm considering that the next 30 days, there's nothing going on with him. So we're looking at getting back, just working out in November. September to October, there will be nothing going on with him. His birthday is October 20th. He's going to be in Boston supporting his buddy, Demetrius. So I don't expect him to get started until November. And November and December, he should be strong and ready to go. But again, you got to consider what you guys don't. You got to consider the negotiation of a fight. That's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. And I'm not talking about my part of the negotiation. It's not going to happen overnight.
We always get big fights in the January, Ken. And Earl's fought in January. And if you're saying December, November, you're ready, then you're ready to go January. Plus, you got a new deal on 2 networks with multiple dates that need to be filled.
No, I'm not doing that. That's not going to happen.
What's not going to happen? January?
Yeah, he's not going to fight in January.
But you just said he's ready in November, December.
I said ready to start. From this point right now, he's got 30 days before I'm asking him to report back, which is going to put you at the end of October. His birthday is October the 20th.
Mine 29th.
20th. So I know he's not going to be doing anything because he's going to Boston to be with Demetrius. So I know my kid. He's looking at probably coming back November 1st. November 1st is probably a reasonable time for him to come back and start training. So we wouldn't be turning right around fighting in January. And again, the negotiation of a fight, not talking about what we would do, what the venue and what the network is going to say and the dates that they have has to be consistent with what they want to do. And it's got to be consistent with who they want us to fight.
I'm just pulling up Earl's record here to see when he last fought and what makes sense. He fought in June. So if you're looking at April or June, that's him having to wait a whole year out of the ring or taking a tune-up. And he already's coming off of a Campos. So what do you expect to happen for Earl in the meantime? Because you have your plan. You know, you are in charge of Shawn's career.
Every individual is different, and Errol is got to make decisions based on what's best for him. If he's choosing to fight us, it ain't gonna happen in January or February. That's not gonna happen. Now, if the money came and the negotiation was done, and they called me up and said, "Hey guys, here's what it looks like. Do you want to take it?" I would say to Shawn, "Hey, look, here's what it looks like. We got 90 days. Let's go. We'll be fighting in March." But it's a lot of things that have to happen for that to happen. And I just don't get those kind of phone calls. I get a phone call like I just got on a Danny Garcia fight. "Hey, where you guys at?" "We're over here in California at the Mikey Garcia fight." That's on a Saturday night. "Can you guys fly over on Monday for a press conference to announce you and Danny Garcia fight?" That's how it came to us, dude. That's how it came. It didn't come, we knew 3 months before that or 4 months before that or even 2 months before that. We were at the Mikey Garcia fight. I received a message saying, "Hey, can you guys make a press conference on Monday?" This is a Saturday, which means we fly back home on Sunday to Vegas, which it wasn't me. Shawn was flying back home to Vegas. I was driving back. I drove back to Vegas on Sunday. I got home 10 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock that afternoon, I was on a plane on my way to New York. That's how it came to us. So it never comes like you want it to come or like you think it might be coming. We're not going to get that call 3-4 months in advance. We're going to get that call 6 to 8 weeks saying, "Hey, this is the date. Here's the venue. This is the money. Let's go."
Now, does that ever like get old? Because we know Eddie Hearn, his whole motto, like with signing these U.S. fighters, is to give them a contract, give them dates, and give them venues of when they are fighting. Does that like entice you guys at any to like go? Well, not go over there, but like have a conversation with him and like see like the dates he has planned for you guys, if he has anything planned.
Guys might say that. They're not doing that. They put that information out. They're not doing that. That's not how boxing works. Boxing gonna work the way they want it to work, and whatever they feel is best for them and their own agendas. Ain't gonna never stick to no damn calendar. Ain't gonna happen. You can consider a month that you see a guy fighting a lot, or a month that's open for the networks because football isn't going on, or basketball isn't going on, or baseball isn't going on. Well, you could consider that and look at that. But the reality situation is it's going to be whatever they decide to be.
Well. These guys.
That was my last question.
You ran out of questions for the Ken man.
Okay, I got a quick question. I feel like there's this big agenda of legacy as well as big money fights. Now, Manny Pacquiao's out there. I know this is just kind of one of those wild questions, but you know, is Manny Pacquiao something by any chance, if he was interested, a big money fight? Does that interest you guys? Would you take that as a preference over Spence if that came to fruition?
I think Pacquiao's a big money fight at this point. He only paid Matisse $2 million, and it took him like 2 weeks before the fight to finish paying it.
No, I wouldn't consider that. I wouldn't consider Manny. It's not what it once was. And again, I think the top name to fight in the division is Errol Spence, and I don't think anybody is going to surpass that.
Now you spoke on you have a plan for Shawn about his career and like when he should retire, and Shawn doesn't like necessarily know your plan, but can you like share some insight to how many more fights you see Shawn fighting before he's all said and done?
He came out of last night's fight that I know of pretty much unscathed. There was no cuts, no bleeding, nothing that we know anything about. The doctors didn't have to shut him down. They're asking him not to work out for a week. That's just a precautionary that they give everybody, 7 days. So we got through this one, and we can go ahead and get ready for the next one. And you just got to gauge the individual, the athlete, the boxer. You got to gauge him by what's going on in the camps and what's going on fight night. How much he's willing to put into the camps, how much he's willing to train, how hard he's willing to go at this point in his life. If he can get these things done with the other things he's got going on in his life. And for Shawn now, he's got a little son, he's got a girl, he wants to spend time with him. So my thing is, go have all the fun you want to have after this fight. Do all the things you want to do. Go to Disney World and anything else, picnics and everything else. Watch the little guy start to learn how to walk and all that. Enjoy yourself. And when it's time to go to work, there's 52 weeks in a year. I'm going to ask you to give me 8. 8 of those 52. And that's going to leave
16, really, 16, right? And sometimes 20, because it's 2 fights a year, 8-week training camp, sometimes 10.
Okay, well, you understand what I'm trying to say. I break it down for him that way so that he can basically, at this point, he's fighting once. He ain't fighting twice a year at this point. So I break it down for him that way so he can.
What? I think you broke up. You say he's fighting once?
He's fighting once. What did we just saw? We just saw one fight in the last year. That's what we saw. What, 10 months?
Oh, so you count in calendar months. You're not calling like the year.
Not the year. From the time so if we were to go from the last time he had a fight till now.
Oh shit, yeah. Granada, he didn't fight. Damn.
We're looking at about 10 months, right?
Wow, he wasn't in the ring since 2017 of November?
Yeah.
Yep. Against Granados. And Ken, one thing that I've seen on Jim Lambley's the fight game was a guy was reporting about all these athletic commissions are going to like start having these next day weigh-ins to make sure fighters aren't ballooning up and weight too much. Have you heard anything about that?
The IBF does it, not a problem for us. We did it for them, but I don't want to deal with them.
No. What I'm saying is the start of 2019 is going to be like regulated nationwide.
Go ahead.
I'm saying in 2019, the whole thing is going to be like regulated nationwide to where fighters are not like weight cutting or like weight bullying. It's really set up for the UFC, but it's going to take effect in all athletic commissions. It was on the fight game with Jim Lampley overtime.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not a problem for us. We did it for a number of fights. So Shawn is usually the next day about 8 pounds up. So it's not a problem. We've done it. We can do it. Not a problem.
So Ken, so you don't even want to tune up this year?
No, that was a good fight, and we just need to work from there.
So does that work itself out money wise? Because I'm assuming it's like a job. If you go to work twice in the year, you make more money that year.
Well, it depends on, I mean, we can get technical and I can give my accountant a call and say tell you what he thinks, but no, it depends on the date and, putting the fight together. I want to see him fight Errol, and I like to see it by spring, sometime spring or early summer.
So since you know so much about the venues being, part of the negotiations, where are you expecting it to happen since, the venues have so many deals with, these fights taking place? Is it back in the Barclays?
You see, I'm quite sure you saw that the Barclays announced that they did an exclusive with PBC.
So no more Vegas fights. That works for me because Vegas kind of sucks in terms of flights.
Well, you know what? I tell you what, I really love the Barclays. I really love the energy in New York. I'm interested to see what it's going to be like going to Boston. I've never been to Boston.
Oh, so there's a deal in Boston. Okay.
No, I'm going there for Demetrius's fight.
Okay. Wow. So you're going to show up on that. I might have to fucking go to that shit now because I can instigate Eddie. I could get Eddie and, let me shut up for one of these other guys steal my plan.
Kenny, will you be going to the Canelo and Triple G fight next weekend?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he'll be in Vegas, right, Ken?
Yeah, I'll be.
Because I've been sent you a text about the show we're doing with Chivas Regal,
You invited me to a show?
I sure did. Let me see here on my text. It says...
No, I saw it.
July 26th, I sent you a text telling you what we would be doing.
Show it.
It's going to be at Beer House. You guys, the same place. You guys actually went to the first one we did for Canelo Triple G.
I'll be there.
Perfect.
I'll get Shawn Porter. I know Shawn Porter. I'll ask him. We real cool. We'll probably come.
Make sure you bring your trainer's belt.
Okay.
No, seriously, you should definitely bring it. We're gonna have a 3-camera live stream. It's a real big deal. It'll be a big stage, and there'll be plenty of people to take pictures. So it would be great. So make your outfit look better. Anyway, Ken, you're using social media these days, so you could give it to our listeners so they can follow you on Instagram.
Porter High Performance, PORTERHY-performance. That's the Instagram, and then the Facebook is Kenny Porter. There's 2 Kenny Porters over there. The other one is my son who used to box, so you may see him as well. But everything else is Showtime Shawn P. Instagram.
Thanks for your time, Mr. Porter.
And Twitter. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. And looking forward to seeing you, Ness.
For sure, man. Can't wait. We land Thursday. The whole crew moving on up in the world, so we'll be there for sure. I'll shoot you a text. Hopefully, I'm unblocked, and maybe I could stop by the gym. I was in Vegas the other day, but you guys weren't there. But I went by the gym, but it was closed.
Yeah, it's private, so it's only open when Shawn is training or someone else I'm working with is training. So this week, actually, Barry Hunter's coming to town on Tuesday. He'll be working there. I'll be opening it up for him, and then he's got
who's Barry working with? Who's Barry working with? With Warren? Because I hear Warren's in another title shot.
Who's Warren?
Rashi?
No, it's gonna be French Sean Cruz.
Never heard of him. So Ken, what do you know about this Ife about
it's a girl. French Sean is a girl.
Oh.
She fought Clarissa.
Oh, okay. You know anything about FA since you are big into the amateurs? Ajaba, how do you pronounce his name?
F.A. Ajagba.
Ajagba, he's trained by Ronnie Shields.
The one who the guy walked out on.
The one that the guy walked out on, Curtis Harbor, jumped out the ring.
I don't know anything about the guy.
Damn. I was hoping you give me a little, tidbits on him. You call him the Nightmare. They call him the Nigerian Nightmare.
No, I don't know anything about it.
Come on, Ken. Come on. While Shawn is vacationing for the next month and some change, you gotta check out the rest of boxing. Lots happening these days. Heavyweight division is booming.
No, I seen the guy on the little segment where the guy walked out of the ring, and I think I might have seen one of the guys' knockouts, but I don't know anything about him from the amateur.
Oh, okay. Well, Ken,
my last big amateur tournament was the World Championships 2012. And we had Joshua, we had Ramirez, Ramirez fought Lomachenko. I was actually in that corner. We had I think Joshua was there. We had Errol Spence there, Rashid Warren. So that was my last big amateur tournament.
Yo, I got my man Fresh BX begging me to ask you to break down Saunders, but you're going all the way to Boston. It's obviously picking the Andre. This guy's,
Yeah. I've known Dimitri since he's 14, and I expect him to beat Billy Joe.
Is he going to beat the brakes off of him, or is he just going to beat him?
I don't think he's going to beat the brakes off of him. I think he's definitely going to beat him.
Billy Joe's cocky, man. I'm not going to let you go at all until you get bored.
I was with Billy Joe in the UK every day for about 10 days.
I'm actually going to let you. All right. So I don't want to keep you, Ken. We got a lot of calls we got to get to. But damn, I had so much I wanted to ask you. Yeah, we got, when I see you in Vegas, we got to talk the Wilder Billy Joe Saunders chicken story for sure. We got to see what you think about that one. But, man, thanks again for coming on the show. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Kenny Porter, trainer of Shawn Showtime, WBC champion Porter. Let me go to the sponsors, right, and open up these phone lines. We got some callers out there trying to get up in here, and I know we got a lot of, Rob, I'm going to go to you before I go to anybody. Don't worry. I got you, buddy.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
All right, we got that out the way. That was at peak right there, too. They got prime advertisement right there. That was everybody's tuned in. Kenny had it lit. So, a lot of information. Those interview skills. I'm such a beast with this. You know what I mean? You did well, Mike. You got some good shit out. That was very good. Very good. We got a lot there. We know now it's going to be on one of those Fox pay-per-views. There's only 10 of those, right? How many of those were in the contract? 4?
It was just, wasn't it 12 fights or 10 fights? And
then it had and pay-per-view in very
they didn't specify in the Fox amount.
So they didn't specify the number. Okay, I'm just reaching, I'm digging here. It's called investigative journalism out loud. We're thinking, even though it's people watching we are still in our own bubble. We're thinking together.
Real quick, before we get to any callers, if you're watching right now, Tell a friend to tell a friend, smash that thumbs up button for us, and also go over to Patreon/ThaBoxingVoice.com and check out all the exclusive content that we have. And tomorrow we have our flagship show on that channel. It's called Untitled. So look forward to that. Ness got some baddies or some hotties that he want to talk about.
Oh man, I don't know about all that, but Rob, you go. I'm looking something up, and then I'm gonna interrupt you pretty soon.
Get straight in and that. No, just obviously we didn't get to topic 2, 3, 4, 5.
There's so many topics.
At least we can talk about the HBO card or anything like that. So
we can speed through all of it.
No,
that's
right.
All right, so there we go. I didn't watch it. Mike didn't watch it. Ron?
Well, hold on. Let me just speed through. I'll do like a power run of knowledge and stuff. So before we go to the HBO Showtime, had Marcelo's Wilder. He did his second pro fight. He knocked the guy out. I guess I heard that he came in at 192 pounds and dehydrated to 185, and his opponent went up to 220 pounds. And so he knocked out a guy essentially a heavyweight in that fight. So congrats on him. Chris Colbert moved to 9-0 unanimous decision.
How do you look? I didn't get to see that. I'm gonna have to go back. That's my doggy right there. How do he look?
He a bad motherfucker, bro.
Yeah, no, I know, bro. I get to watch him spar, bro. He's nasty.
That little motherfucker. Now I don't know if he's just not grown into his man string yet, but if he ever gets that man string, man, watch out, bro. Watch out for that. Watch out for him.
So yeah, congrats. He went 9-0 as well as Richardson Hitchens. He moved to 6-0. That's Mayweather's fighter. He also won by UD. There was also the big talk of women's division. Amanda Serrano became the first 6 division women's champion. That also joins Manny Pacquiao and Oscar De La Hoya. So congratulations to her. That was a big moment for women boxing. We talked a little bit about the Charles Martin and the Kownacki. The Ugas fight. Did we brush up on the Ugas fight? I think we did a little bit. He did his unanimous decision. Wasn't Amir Khan? We talked about that. Sam Eggington. Lewis Ritson, Rob, you want to get some action on that UK on the Lewis Ritson real quick?
Yeah, he just had a little tune-up on, I think got a third round knockout or TKO. So, just over, ready to headline our October 13th card for the European title.
I hope he was bored because I know he got the finish or whatever, but it's just something that I wasn't really impressed by that performance. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
He did get hit a little bit more, but he did take him out. Like Rob said, it was a left to the body. So he moves to 17-0 with 11 KOs to be fighting underneath a DAZN card coming up. And also we can move over to the HBO card. I'll brush it real quick. So it was a Super Fly event. It's their third one, 114 pounds. The headline was Estrada, and his opponent. It wasn't too bad. I think he was ranked number 7 in the ranking system, but Estrada won by UD. If you don't know who Estrada is, he lost to Roman Chocolatito, but he came back and beat Quadras, and then he had that very close with Rungvisai. So a pretty good fight. Donnie Nietes, that was the second fight. It was a Filipino. He was moving up for his 4th division. I thought he won. There was a very questionable draw in there, so I don't know if they're going to do a rematch. The judge who scored it pretty wide against Donnie Nietes, he was a pretty good judge. I didn't really see in the last 10 years, he didn't score anything bad. Minus maybe like he gave Mosley an extra round in the Mayweather fight. But other than that, I mean, it was a very odd situation. I thought that Donnie Nietes won, but he was a very good fighter. That was his 4th division. And then also there was a Japanese fighter that beat, and he goes by name Kazuto Ayoko. So he won that fight by unanimous decision. And then lastly, before I go into the other obscure other fights that I know that you guys probably want to talk about, but there was the women's fight they did on, I forgot, it was Periscope. I don't know why they put the undercards of the Superfly in Periscope, so don't do that next time, guys. That was pretty hard to find, but it was a atomweight fight, and I thought that there was a robbery in that fight. So I thought Bang Bang Lulu won that fight, and so hopefully they can fix that up. She looked pretty good though. I know it's Little Women. I'm
not saying about like how she looked. Just the fucking name.
I know. Look, I know Ness. I'm waiting for it.
ESPN Plus card.
I'm waiting for Ness to do it, but we're gonna move on to ESPN Plus.
Ron, I was just about to leave because it's like 2:30 in the morning. I got an early start, and you said fucking Bang bang.
Bang bang Lulu.
What was that?
That's her name. That's her name. Bang Bang Lulu.
Oh, it's a her. Nez don't know who the
It's
fuck.
a her.
Guy, so-
I know. Ness doesn't know anything above like his leg weight. So,
Shout
but
out. Bang bang.
But going past that, we got the ESPN Plus. They had the Kashizu's son Tim Tszyu moved on from his record. Now he moved to 11-0 with 9 knockouts. Knocked the guy out in the first round.
Who the fuck is that guy?
You know Kashizu, but this was his son.
Yeah.
But and then we got to talk about that
Who the fuck is that guy?
Mansour fight.
He got stopped by
Amir Mansour.
hrgovic or whatever the fuck his name is. Some guy from Russia, bro.
Actually, that fight, I was saddened for Mansour. There's a few guys this week. Few soldiers fell, man. Mansour, Hank Lundy. They tried. Philly going down. Oh, and damn, Philly had a horrible week, yo. Danny, man.
What's his name? Is it Stanley or is it somebody else that always calls about Amir Mansour? Every time the guy
Suleiman, that's Suleiman.
Suleiman. There we go.
Yeah, man. Mansour keeps getting opportunities, but he ain't getting it done. But damn, Philly went down hard this week.
Yeah, he got stopped in the third round. It was the third round KO. You probably find on YouTube. And then Hank Lundy went the distance, but he lost against apparently there's like Russian prospect that they're saying that's coming up. So
that was like 9-0.
Yeah, so it's his
Zaire.
10th fight fighting Hank Lundy.
Yeah,
Zaire
Abdullaev or something like that. We got to get some tape on him.
And y'all, everybody should know that our very own Nestor Gibbs was on Sirius XM. Was it Thursday or Friday?
Friday night.
In the at the fight show. So, and he was with Jerry Cooney and what's the other guy's name?
Randy Gordon.
Oh, look at him, big time. Yes, it was a very good show. So, if you guys want to hear it, it's on our YouTube page, and it's very easy to find.
It courtesy of I believe Mike did that. Yeah, it was good boxing talk, you know. And I got to plug the Chivas show, which brings me to the fact that Ken obviously said he's going to be coming through with Shawn. And we also have Shawn Porter now, Ken Porter, Caleb Plant, Jesse Vargas, Teofimo Lopez, Tom Lawfer. And we got a soft yes on Mikey, but that's probably a definite because he's going to be in town already.
Then we got a soft yes on Regis and that Regis Prograis, and that may be a definite too because he said he will be in town. Just got to check with his manager and his schedule, and I'm gonna hit him up as soon as I touch down.
Other things in the mix, I don't know, but we'll keep you posted. But definitely, you wanna make sure that if you're in town for Canelo Triple G the rematch, you head on over to Beer House Friday and Saturday.
And then
after the weigh-in, before the fight, we're there. Ticket upgrades, swag giveaways. Ron will be there. Mike, me, everybody. You know, signed gloves, Shiva's chicks in bikinis. Shit gets real. Real.
And I was going to jump in real quick on another thing. It's just real small, but Tevin Farmer and Tank Davis had a face-off kind of situation over at the fight, the Shawn Porter and Dana Garcia. You can see it on the internet. And Tevin Farmer's been tweeting saying that he would drop his current fight if he can make the Devontae Tank Davis fight. So he really wants that fight. So
no, and that's what I meant about fighters being the boss, right? Like, you know, Ken is saying what he's saying, but here you go. You got a fighter right here and a promoter, because I did an interview very long with Eddie Hearn where he had a bag full of money waiting for Tank. So
it was some money there for real?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought that was bullshit. No, damn.
Wow. He's got $1 billion.
Shit, why walk around with it?
Who said he was walking around with $1 billion?
I'm not saying no shit. He probably need about 15, 25 bags.
Another interview, or actually, if you check the last video when they're getting in the car, he's like, man, when I came to New York, this bag was full. You know?
He dropping cold hard cash off on these niggas. Okay.
Dropping that shishing.
Sure money. Like my
But,
girl Cardi B
talking about shmoney. Let's get out to these callers. You know,
let's get them.
Let's get this show started. You know what, though? You know what this means, right, guys? We went
Georgie Porgy. I know you're listening, baby. Go ahead and call in one last time for the 99-2000.
He's a baby. Little baby. So what we got here on Skype? We got my man Scorsese, who usually likes to hate. What up, Scorsese?
Yeah, I picked Porter. Feeling good about that pick. It was like 75-25. Everybody I talked to, Garcia this, Garcia that. Porter tore that ass up. I had it 118, 112 with 2 10 rounds. So even if I gave those rounds to Danny, Porter had that bitch in the bag, 116, 112. Man, look, I'm used to the Mayweather days. I like the unification days too, but Mayweather was running up in weights and right, it's this dude out there that's at 154 got 2 belts, and I think Shawn Porter could give him every bit of hell than Jerry Hurd. They on the same side of the fence. I'm just like, yo, you could be
Bro, what are you talking about, bro? Hold on, bro. Hold on. Let me stop real quick, bro. Did you see Jerry Hurd and Jamel Charlo do a picture?
Yeah, I don't care about that.
And okay. Did you see Garcia and Porter and their face off? Jerry Hurd will be like twice the size of Porter. Come on, bro.
Put in the body while he hitting you in your body, and he's gonna be all over. Man, it'll be a good fight. I think Shawn Porter got that kind of style. I would love to see that fight, and yo, it'll be for his like super legacy. 2 titles, a WBA belt. He never held a WBA belt. Add to that collection. He said this full, but he full of shit. Now he add to that collection, and it should be good pay. You know, like you put it in Barclays, PBC, anything they sell in Barclays gonna sell. They did the right thing. They got like an official territory. They like, bruh, we tattooed right here. Like, and
you're totally right. You're totally right. I forgot Shawn Porter beat Usyk in the amateur, so he might find a way to beat Jerry Hurd. Maybe a good point.
He mentioned that, like, would he move up? Like, Shawn could do that, bro. Shawn could be a Hall of Famer like that. Yeah, he might be one. I don't think he won now. Did you put 4 titles? You're a Hall of Famer. That's my call, man. I do like Terrence Crawford full of shit, though. One more thing. Terrence Crawford is fighting on the Candy Crush app. Terrence Candy Crush Crawford. That's what his name need to be. Don't nobody know. Don't nobody want to. He is the new Tim Bradley. Yes! Everybody else over there. I like Terrence Crawford. Everybody is in the battlefield. Soldier hat on. Keith Thurman even put his back on. And Crawford on the Candy Crush Plus app. We ain't having it. Ain't flying. You signed the contract. Really good job on all that. You got kids. You got your wife you took care of. But ain't nobody finna listen to your tweets while these dudes putting hands on each other and possibly going up in weight fighting fighters. Bro, they got bone or tank. They playing at the weigh-ins. They playing at the press conferences with talent. What you doing? Nope. That's my call. I'm out.
Great call, man. Great call. Except for the last 20 seconds.
Poor Terrence, man. Poor Terrence. We going out to our. I don't even know if he's a boomerang or ringer. He's one of those, man. His alumni status.
Just like the king is what I mean. The king is what I mean. My man, get a cup and put some change inside your hand. Now hold up. Let's make this official. Everybody that's agreeing that.
TBV, great show so far. Shout out to Kitty Porter. I'm gonna say this, man. I'm gonna say this right out the gate. I believe what happened in that fight. I had it a clean because I was in the building last night. Shout out to all the Adam Kownacki fans. They was in there fucking going ape shit. Oh man, that Ugas fight, man. That shit was like fucking taking dope, man. That shit was like drinking lean watching that Ugas fight. Major miscalculation in your fucking programming and your marketing that you ever put no fucking Ugas in between an exciting fight like fucking that was Charles Martin and Adam Kownacki was an exciting fight. And you gonna put this fucking Ugas in there with some other piece of shit. Perfect. Not to berate them as men, but the fight was fucking terrible. God. So now we come to Shawn Porter. So you got one terrible fucking fight, and then you're already warmed up for another fucking terrible fight. But the fight isn't terrible. What I realized about Shawn Porter, man, and for mad speculation, I Kenny Porter, that's their brand. But I thought I caught him in green and gold and black, and I said, yo, if Shawn Porter's Jamaican, I'm a proud Jamaican. Like I said, Shawn Porter, Jamaican, I know why he's not a good boxer. His athletic talent doesn't give him a strength in that area. But I realize that that's just a little, brand or whatever. But the only advantage, technically, boxing wise, that Shawn Porter had in this fight is the same way I feel about Chad Dawson. I keep bringing this guy up. Shawn Porter is a guy that's a fighter, true to his heart. Like, he's an athletic guy and he's a fighter. If you teach him how to box, depending on where you catch him, and I know he might have been boxing for a while, but boxing ain't his shit. He can box. He's just a fighter. That's what makes him a tough bout. Like, Chad Dawson had all the boxing skills in the world, but it was something missing in his fucking eyes. And for a point, as good as Danny might be, he's the Tim Duncan of fucking 147, right? As good as Danny is, technically, something in his eyes, man. Angel might as well would have laced up. He lost that intensity. He was missing something. But technically, he wasn't landing his counters. Shawn forced Danny out of his game plan. It was a great fight, considering I expected it to be terrible, but it wasn't all that great neither. I'm a fan of Shawn Porter. I'll say it time and time on the show. I'm a fan of Shawn and Kitty Porter as their character. But as a bot, like, bro, like, yo, man, still do your performance shit with your pops, but let somebody show you something different on the bag.
I've been hearing this same story for like ever since I started like watching boxing. Oh, Shawn needs a new trainer. His dad doesn't know what he's doing. His dad got him to be a fucking world champion right now, two-time world champion. So hey, it is what it is, bro.
And you can't even question this title win, right? Like, Danny was considered the top of the division, or one of the top, definitely not the top. And the fact that Ken keeps repeating, no, we want Earl. Earl is who's hot. I mean, it's reassurance. That's cool. Let's keep these lines moving. We got Anthony in Cincinnati. What up, Queen City Cobra?
What up? What up? Yeah, young guy Lee in the building. Devin Haney, Eddie Hearns, and Lady Bud. What up? Lady Bud, man. As much as I love you.
Now look, I would talk shit, you know what I'm saying? But you niggas from Cincinnati, y'all don't play, bro. For real. Goddamn T.I. know about that.
Damn right, my man. But nah, man, I love you some Terrence Crawford, but what everybody is saying is true. And I was
So hold on, let me ask you from your perspective, real quick. If Bob Arum came to you, Terrence, I hear you, man. You want to go over there and fight these motherfucking fighters, but let them finish doing what they're doing. I'm gonna give you $3 million every time you fight for the next 3 years. What would you do?
I ain't mad at that because as far as not putting the miles in yourself, because everybody in the top 5 of welterweight is gonna give you a hell of a fight. You may not be the same after it if you don't do the right thing. So that makes sense for that. But if he keep talking about he the best, and if you want a legacy, you got to step on the other side of the street and fight the best. You ain't getting nothing by beating tune-ups. You just getting a check, And it's gonna. I'm trying to think of somebody that'll really be compared to like, oh, we thought he was great. Like, oh, we thought he was great, but he never proved it. Like, I can't really think of nobody that I'm sure Ness, you probably know somebody. You can think of somebody that's like, damn, they had an excellent record. They beat up a bunch of motherfuckers. It'd be like Julio Cesar.
Joe Calzaghe.
Start fighting somebody.
Nah, Joe Calzaghe.
Joe Calzaghe. He fought everybody when they was old though, bro. And he dodged fucking. He dodged Card Froch, bro. He dodged Card Froch though.
No.
He beat an old Bernard Hopkins. He beat an old motherfucking Roy Jones Jr.
But he
stop,
bro.
The point is, he stepped in there with him.
I think Hopkins went on to win like 2 more titles after that. You bugging right now. You can't call Hopkins old, bro.
Yeah, you're right. You can't call
plus,
him
Calzaghe was considered undefeated. He flew to the U.S.
Yeah, but now Hopkins at 40 beats everybody at 175 right now. If he was 40 years old fighting right now, so Joe Calzaghe beat him. He beat him. Shit.
Everybody.
So, but they look like
War retired.
The whole PPC was in the stands. Shit. But Mike, it's all good. We gonna see it eventually, hopefully before they 35 and shit. But I mean, it's kind of true, but I still think Bud is still one of the best. But we don't know. We don't know until he steps on the other side. But that was interesting what Kenny Porter said, that it ain't that easy. Because I was with shit. I was with y'all. I thought it was just like shit. If they said they want it, they don't want it.
It's a business, man. I've been saying that for like the past week, but nobody wants to hear me.
You're right. Don't nobody want to hear you. Don't nobody want to hear you because Ken's still on the line, and it's the promoter.
Bring him back in.
No, I ain't got to bring him in. It's the promoter and the network that got deals with venues. Like, again, Ken said it. He ain't got no deal with nobody. So if Bob offer him the right, he got to offer him that walk across the street and cut Al Heyman off money.
That's what I'm saying.
No, that's what you're saying. He ain't gonna. Well, yeah, whatever.
He ain't gonna offer him though. We both.
What you saying is you love Bud so much that everybody got to leave.
What I'm saying is this:
they got to leave what they doing to accommodate Bud.
Bud is one of the top 2 fighters on Top Rank. Lomachenko, Bud Crawford. Bob Arum is not going to let him go across the street and fight on ESPN. I mean, on Showtime, unless it's a joint pay-per-view. No, Earl's not going to do it either. Earl said it last night, and I said that Thursday. I mean, or Wednesday. It's going to have to be a pay-per-view for both of these fighters to meet up. Now, if they can make a offer to Danny Garcia or Shawn Porter, that might be a better way if they can offer him like $2.5-3 million to come over to ESPN for a.
Nobody going over there for 2.5. Man, let me get the call. This guy's bugging. You should have asked Ken if he got paid before you asked him about $2 million.
I mean, it said $1 million on paper, so I don't know how much it is back behind the scenes, but on paper it said Danny 1.5 and Shawn 1.
All right, Dominic, Seattle, talk to me.
Yeah, what's up, man? How you guys doing today?
We're good, brother.
Yeah, so what you guys talking about? So I've been hearing everything, watching it. This was a long YouTube.
Garcia, Porter, Amir Khan, Spence, and Crawford, little Twitter beef.
Hearing it. I've been hearing all of it, and I think that Bud Crawford, until he proves himself, yeah, but he beat up Jeff Horn. That's nice. I just like to see more to call him the great. And when it comes to Shawn Porter, I respect his dad doing his thing, and he loves, he has all the respect for him. But I just don't feel like Shawn Porter is the best. Like, I know he got the belt, but we're talking about someone who always gets hit. He has not that much of a good defense. I don't consider him a perfect style fighter. I consider him, he's sloppy. He can get tagged at any minute. He's always been, when I watched all his fights from Keith Thurman to Kell Brook didn't do that good as Keith Thurman, but he always gets like shook, like someone hits him, he gets stunned a little bit. And I think Keith Thurman did it the best. When you talk about, when Mike said Keith Thurman doesn't have a perfect record, come on, dude. He beat up Shawn Porter way better than Kell Brook did to me.
When I say that, I said Keith Thurman probably has the best record right now at 147. Ron could back me up on that.
He was arguing that he feels Crawford has the best feet. Was that what you're saying, Mike?
Yeah, I said Crawford has the best feet, and Thurman has the best resume because he beat Danny Garcia and Shawn Porter.
But what I'm trying to say is everybody's putting this hype up on Shawn Porter. Nah, he ain't got it yet. He beat Danny. Okay, that's what's up. That's like B level. Until he steps up and he does always.
Danny's B level?
I think he is. He hasn't really fought anybody who's at the A level.
Oh my God. Okay.
That's all I'm saying. And I don't think Shawn Porter is like the best right now. Just because he beat Danny. No. He's gonna get rocked when he fights Errol Spence because he always has to gas up to do that little explosive move. Like I watched it during the whole fight. He always like builds it up and then he'll explode. Build it up then explode. That's why he switched the style, because I know his dad probably doesn't want him to keep on getting beat up because he can't keep on fighting like that forever. So that's my call.
Dominic, thanks for calling in.
Average call.
Going out to California.
Mr. Info Joe.
Tell the truth, girl. Tell the truth.
This portion of the show we call In the
Mr.
Know,
Mojo.
presented by my brother.
Hey, yo. I just want to say that shout out to Ohio, man. Y'all did that last night, man. But and Porter, they both got some chins, man. I watched the fight again, man. Porter took some hellacious shots, man. Clean. Walk right through them. Same with Danny. If them boys ain't got nothing left, man, them boys got a chin, and they ain't done. Neither one of them, even though Danny took the loss. On to Spence saying that Algieri is better than anybody on Crawford's resume. I agree that Crawford doesn't have the best resume at 147, but to use Algieri, that was disrespectful. Felix Diaz will whoop Algieri's ass, and you can pick apart Crawford's resume, but I can pick apart Errol's resume. He beat Brook, that was already mentally defeated from Triple G, that went up 2 divisions.
Mentally? Oh, you a psychiatrist now, huh? Oh, you a psychiatrist.
Huh? Hey, and he beat Chris Algieri and Lamont Peterson that got knocked out in the second round by Matisse. So it ain't
Lamont
like
got
his
knocked
resume
out
is,
damn near
glamour.
10 years before that. Come on, you reaching.
But still, it ain't like it's a glamour resume, nothing like that. I ain't saying it to Spence is a good fighter, and he could be, he is where he should be, as far as where he's ranked with everybody. But I still believe that a guy with good footwork like Thurman and Crawford would give him troubles. I do believe Thurman and Crawford's footwork are the same. They both can fight going backwards. They both can go forward. They both got angles. And I think that's something Brook that didn't have. And I think that will give trouble Earl Spence. I do believe they're all 50-50 fights, though. But if you had asked me to pick today, if I had to choose, even though Crawford hasn't fought anybody per se, I still would pick him to beat Spence, man. Spence, to me, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate, but he's just a 147 Triple G. He just come forward. I don't see no special effects, my opinion. They Crawford and Thurman are better boxers, got more tools to pull out from the toolbox.
Hey man, say it like Mayweather said, straight up and down, no special effects.
Hey man, the dude just come forward. He's strong. He does what he does good. Not to say that that's the end all be all, them having more tools, because the guy that has less tools can still win, i.e. Porter. But I still feel that a guy with good footwork can give Spence trouble. He ain't the end all be all, but they're all gonna take losses before it's all said and done. Some people got in their mind that Crawford and Spence or Thurman are Mayweather, and they.
Elliot in New Jersey, talk to us.
Hey, what's going on? It was Prince Charles Martin, Kownacki, whatever that guy's name was. That was a boring fight, but I think Prince Charles Martin actually did better than I ever seen him box, pretty much, probably ever.
That was a boring fight?
I mean, not really boring, but I mean, yeah, kind of, bro, kind of. It wasn't, I don't know. Prince Charles Martin, he did better. He did better than I ever thought. I went to the store on the other ones, but I started getting sleepy. I ain't gonna lie, I was getting old. But I watched Shawn Porter, that's a fact. But Danny Garcia, Shawn Porter, I knew Shawn Porter would beat him. I didn't think Danny could handle the pressure. But the fight didn't go like that. And I'm glad it didn't. I told my boy that Shawn could actually box a little bit. So I'm glad we was able to see that. And I don't think, and you guys keep calling Danny Garcia a counter puncher. I wouldn't call him a counter puncher. I would call him more like more like a technical power puncher. Like him and like Adonis Stevenson. Those guys, like, they use like their skills and their technique to like set up and deliver their power punches at times. They can't really control the fight for 12 rounds, boxing or doing anything like that. In my opinion, I ain't never seen him do it. But That's it, though. That's my call.
90 seconds.
Elliot, man, thanks for calling in. We're going out to looks like Mike. We're going to you.
What's up? What's up? What's going on?
I don't know. What's on your mind?
Well, you know, I was thinking about Spence earlier today and what he said about Crawford.
Having nightmares about Crawford?
No, I was actually having a fantasy because that's one of the biggest fights that could be made. Crawford and Spence, like who doesn't want to see that fight? I'm not saying keep Crawford, keep him away from Spence. Make the fight happen, but make it happen at a time where it's smart for both individuals, so both these young men can get paid greatly. And having an engine like ESPN behind you to promote something like that, oh my God, that's gonna be big and big. So what now?
To hide you from the other fighters?
No, to like push that mega fight with like good promotion. Because they're like backed by Disney. You know, Disney owns ESPN.
Yeah, you know, Disney sounds like something kids watch while the real men are fighting on Premium Network over here.
Or Disney sound like something that parents take their kids to watch. So either way, they're getting money.
10 seconds.
And you watch sports, right? You watch sports.
Exactly why he's fighting Jose
you watch ESPN Plus.
They don't want violence on that channel. Meanwhile, violence took place yesterday in the ring between Danny and Porter. Let's get out to Ohio Runs Boxing. What up? Ohio Runs Boxing going on, my best.
You got an echo, baby. Turn pause that laptop for us.
What up,
What's
brother?
up? You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yep, loud and clear.
Hey, how you guys doing, man? I was in New York. I took that trip. It was had a great time down there. I had my rating hat on down there, so my Ohio One boxing hat. I was definitely standing out. The first fight with Charles Martin, that was an entertaining fight, man. I think pretty much was down there the best fight under the undercard, man. I think that was very entertaining. I told everybody about Shawn Porter's chin, man. He has an iron chin that's not respected. And I kept hearing so many people talking about if Shawn comes in and Danny catch him, it's going to be over. No, it ain't. And that's the reason why I won $200 just on that bet alone. You're not going to stop Shawn, drop him, and knock him out. That was not going to happen. I started that fight 7-5. Absolutely. It was some swing rounds. Perfect. It could have been some swing rounds. But I'm scoring it as I'm in the crowd. I'm sitting low by the bowl, close to the floor. I'm sitting a little low, bro. I'm around a lot of Danny Garcia fans, and you can tell they get heat because I'm giving out rounds as I'm watching it. I'm giving Danny some rounds too. It was some close ones, but they got pissed when Danny was hitting him with that left hook, and it was solid. I said the fight is over. He can't hurt Shawn. Shawn took his best shot. It's gone. Them motherfuckers was pissed, turning red. I said, no, he can't. And the same thing with with Jarrett Hurd and Charlo. Everybody they don't like Shawn's style. They don't like Jarrett Hurd. You know, these guys are still champions. Wilder, he fights too wild. But yeah, he's a WBC champion. If it ain't broke, don't fucking fix it. He's the
WBC
champion. And people is still so something. Now they say, oh, well, Earl is going to stop him. Well, if you keep getting your predictions wrong, you know, Earl could be Shawn, but he might not stop him. Shawn's style is difficult. It is not that easy. And people have been trying to prepare for it for many fights, and it still come out damn near the same results. If you can't clinch them, it's going to be a long fucking night. It's going to be a long night. But I enjoyed myself down there in New York. I wish I had met more people, but it was good, man. Now, you know, we got a WBC champion in Ohio, baby. That's all I wanted to say.
Hold on before you leave. Who you got, Spence or Porter?
Spence is the favorite. I think Spence is definitely the favorite in that fight. I don't see the tool of Shawn Gant. I think he can make it ugly and rough, but I don't see him stopping him. But I would favor Spence in that fight.
Let's go out to legendary boxer.
He's been waiting his
time.
And I congratulate Al Heyman and PBC for that $250 million deal. Since I didn't get to last week, probably the best deal in boxing.
We did get to it. We did. We definitely did a show on it. We definitely did a show on
I
it.
know you guys did. I didn't. I know you did. I know. I didn't get a chance to. But that was a good card last night, man. I like the Kownacki and Martin fight. I don't know what the hell that call was talking about. That fight stole the fucking show. And if that was a UFC, that fight would have gotten the fight of the night bonus. And I hope PBC starts doing that on Fox, like UFC does. That'll like give the fighters incentive to have better fights. You know. Like Richard Schaefer used to do that on Golden Boy, and PBC when they used to work together back in the day. Give him like 20-30 grand if you have a good fight like that. And Ugas, he's a fucking sharp ass dude, man. He would fucking give Porter some troubles. Porter would not be able to bully Ugas because he's long and tall. I think that would be a solid ass fight. And he's mandatory for Porter, isn't he?
I believe he's mandatory for like somebody, or like number one contender for somebody, not mandatory.
And I think I personally thought Danny got robbed last night. And Sam Watson, as soon as he came in the ring, he knew who won. He darted over to Porter before the scores were even read. And he's Danny's good friend. So, I knew he was going to win. And that's because I think they knew Big Porter would make the Spence fight easier. They probably thought Danny wouldn't give it to him. And that's why they gave all 3 fucking cards to Porter. There's no way Porter deserved all 3 fucking cards. No fucking way. Danny deserved 1 card at least, or tie, or.
How did you score it?
No idea how you said that.
I scored at 7. I had a 7-5 for Porter. Like we did a live fight thing. I had 7-5 for Porter.
And that fucking ref matter when you have that blind fucking ref. That fucking ref, Steve Morgan, Steve Bullet, whatever. That guy's fucking blind, like cockeyed blind.
What are you talking about?
Wait, hold on. But why would you
let that motherfucker hold and hit all night?
Ron, let him go. Ron, let him go.
If Kenny Bayless was the ref, fucking Danny would have won because he keeps those fights clean. He doesn't fucking let you hold and hug all night.
Dude, you gotta learn how to fight on the inside. Fight your way out. He did what he's supposed to do.
That's not inside fighting, dude. That's not inside fighting. Ward does inside fighting. Porter doesn't do inside fighting. He just leans his fucking head in the guy's chest. Also, last night's attendance was 13,000 and change, and UFC had an event last night in Texas. Their attendance was 14,000. So PBC is catching up to all these big dogs. All these people talk shit about shit. And Amir Khan's attendance was 8K. Everybody's talking about Amir Khan's a fucking superstar. He's selling 8,000 and getting dropped by fucking bums. No, I don't want to hear that shit that UK is a fucking boxing mecca. You know what I'm saying? And also,
but Amir did set a record for the most viewership on Sky.
Oh, Mike, let him go, Mike. Let him go, Mike.
I'm not done yet. Jesus Christ, let me talk. I'm not done. Also, California had a card. They had 3,000 tickets sold. So PBC sold more cards than fucking all the cards combined last night in boxing alone. So PBC deserves fucking credit. They don't get any credit. You know what I'm saying? And also, they have 22 cards to fill. That's why more guys.
They have you. They have you to give them credit, though.
Yeah. Al need to sign this guy.
Someone please
sign this
pay
guy,
this guy
Al.
Hell of a job, bro. I need you on the team just to see if PBC cuts us a check. Damn. So, let's go to fucking Detroit.
Straight to the point for those with attention deficit. I'm so repetitive, so I gotta repeat. Stainless from the streets to the deep. I'm coming with that heat. All you need to know about me, I'm coming with that heat.
I'm finna say, what does that sound? Is that Stainless over there choking?
Yo, you gotta tell your peoples they gotta flush that, man. Only reason you coughing, they ain't flushing that weed right.
Man, you can't be making them hilarious ass jokes right before you put me on, bro, like that. That shit was just fucking hilarious. I agree with everything Legendary Boxer said. Almost.
Whoa.
I don't know why everybody just. It's like there was so much boxing on last night. I don't understand how anybody can have an attitude today. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even watch the Super Fly 3 shit. like it came on this morning. I caught the end of the Estrada fight, and it still didn't look good to me. But I still had the option still this morning to watch more boxing. Like, what is everybody mad about? Like, yeah, PVC put on a great card. They had thousands. That's great. But we had all that boxing to watch. Like, we watched boxing from 4 o'clock in the afternoon to like 11, 12 o'clock this morning. And then stayed up till 2 o'clock talking about that shit. And then like cut that shit off like me. I went over to the press conference, saw Errol talking mad shit. Like, and enjoyed that shit because usually Errol's so nice and reserved, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so you know what I'm saying? It looked like PVC was having a good time.
their
Absolutely. Absolutely.
with him sitting between Tank and the Charlos, man, they done rubbed off on that dude. And I like what I'm seeing. You know, I like seeing him talk that shit. Plus, he's self-promoting, and he is his own promoter. Like, we already talking about him in fights with 3 different people. You know what I'm saying? And all of them, like, top tier. So, what up?
Did you see the interaction between Chadwick Boseman, the Black Panther, and Charlo?
Yeah.
What did you make of that? Was it like?
You say what?
I said, what did you make of that? Because I kind of like got the picture like Chad was like kind of getting annoyed by just a little bit. He was like, "Hey man, sit down or some shit. Don't be dancing behind me or something like that."
Yeah, I get that feeling in that one part, but I mean, all through the night, they were clearly talking to each other. I mean, the people, they were moving around so much. You know what I'm saying? Like, at one point, Errol was on the left sitting next to Keith Thurman and Gervonta Davis. By the end of the fight, he was sitting down where the Charlos were behind Chadwick Boseman. You know what I'm saying? So they were, like I said, it looked like they were having a great time last night. Like, I don't know who drinks, what they drink, how much they drink, or, you know, whatever they may do, but it looked like they had a great time. And I had a great time watching that shit. But I just want to say good job to Errol Spence, because he really did a Floyd Mayweather and his promoting himself. So, and as I always say, please make sure you push the thumbs up and share this in every episode of the Boxing Voice podcast. Peace.
Peace.
Going out to Cruise Control. Talk to us.
Yo, what's good, TBZ?
What's going on?
What up? What up?
Long time no see. Shit, I can't call it. Where do I start, man? Last night was a good night for boxing. It was pretty good. I mean, it was decent cards, you know. Amir Khan, that's my dude. You know what I'm saying? He got them quick hands, but he can't be getting dropped by Vargas, man. If he gets in there with another killer, man, he's going to get ate. He's going to be food, but there's also food out there for him. Kownacki and Martin, man, that shit was fight of the year. What y'all think, in my opinion?
Nah, bro. We had Lara and we had her this year too. So nah.
But it was a good fight though, if that's what you're trying to make. It was a great entertaining fight.
Also, we had Ortiz and Wilder too. So nah. But it was a good scrap though.
I mean, it was, yeah. I mean, I see where you're going with that, Mike. But, you know, it was for heavyweights, it was a lot of action. I'm all about that action. So, you know, it's up there. I'm going to get into this Porter fight, man. I had Danny winning the fight. Danny was winning the fight. He was piecing Shawn up the first 3 rounds with that hook, stepping to the side. You know what I'm saying? He had that space. Now, this is where I'm going to get into. Niggas were saying that Shawn Porter should switch up trainers on his dad. But I think Danny should probably drop his dad, because after about round 4, round 5, he went away from that game plan. You piecing Shawn up, but you let Shawn get inside and tear your body up, rough you up. Now you on the ropes looking crazy. Your dad is slapping you in the face. I mean, I'm talking about adjustments. It looked like Danny was adjusted in the beginning of the fight, but then for some reason, I guess Shawn fucked up his whole program, and he couldn't adjust to Shawn getting close and touching his body. I mean, I thought Danny, the fight could have went either way, in my opinion. I mean, I did have Shawn win the last 3 rounds. I mean, me and my man was arguing. I had that shit a draw. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't mad at the outcome. Shawn did look like he was putting in more work. You know what I'm saying? He had Danny uncomfortable, bro. That's all, you know. That's all I can say. I mean, if Danny want to get some get back, shit, throw him in there with Broner.
I still want that fight. I still want that fight. That's the fight he need to get, because like that's the easiest way back to a Keith or Shawn. Like, in the meantime, while Shawn fighting Earl and Keith doing his tune-up, you fight Broner. Next thing you know, you got to win, and somebody want to fight you.
Or you do that Khan rematch.
Somebody want to fight you. Plus, you got a guy with Broner. Broner, he's got 2 losses, and then Danny's got a loss, a win, and a loss.
You punching after the bell, cruise control. I thought he was gonna take that time to say goodbye.
But that con rematch though, man, might be bigger than that Broner.
I mean, using that boomerang status. What up, I mean?
Yo, my man. Last caller. Yo, shout out to him because he picked up on that to that point, man. Maybe I'm bugging. Maybe it has nothing to do with Shawn. I mean, again, I still say what I say about Shawn Porter, and I say it as respectfully as you can. But maybe Danny the one that needs to switch up, man, because it was something in him. I'm watching the fight, and I'm watching this shit live. I came home and I watched it, and I'm like, yo, when his father's like, yo, you gotta go to overhand right. I fucking hit you with overhand right. I'm like, fucking Angel need to get out there and lace them up there. It's still a state. I mean, and it wasn't. I don't want people to get the impression that Shawn Porter doesn't deserve to be there because he's the best of the worst as far as I'm concerned. If you talk about that four, and they're not exactly, you know, Hearns, Hagler, Duran, and Leonard. Not exactly that four, but no, Leonard, Ray Leonard. Leonard, Hagler, Hearns, Duran. That's the four. That's the four in the 80s, right? I'm saying Thurman, Garcia, and see, Danny at 147, somebody said that he's really not at 147. At 140, he was the man. When he came up to 147, first it was 143, then it was 142 or 147. So, I mean, we put him up there because of what he did at 140. And, I mean, Crawford is probably the next guy that needs to solidify that third spot. But it's clearly Thurman, it's Garcia, only because Garcia's been in the championship fight. So whether or not, you know, we think he deserved to be there, when he came in, he stepped in, you know, he fought a couple tomato cans, and they gave him the Thurman fight. Whether he earned it or not, they gave it to him. So he's in the mix. So it's Thurman, Garcia, Spence. Now, does Spence deserve to be there? We'll see, right? And that fourth guy, you know, that's the problem we're having. But that's my call. I don't want to drag it out, man. Great show, fellas. Shout out to Stainless, too.
I mean, thanks for calling in. We're going out to our ringer, KM Star. Talk to me.
Hey, guys. What's up? So, it was a good fight last night. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah. You sound great.
Hello? Yeah. So, actually, one thing I will say is I was impressed with the adjustments that Shawn Porter made. So I hear a little bit of negativity, but in the past, I think I've been very vocal about not liking his style, the way he fought. I really was anti-Shawn Porter when he fought Andre Berto, and there was so much roughhousing going on in there. And literally, I've always said that the way he fights reminds me of the style that the Mosley used to call power boxing. And I know those families are friendly with each other. Literally, that's exactly what I saw when I saw Shawn Porter last night. I saw a guy who was very agile, moved on his legs a lot, relied on his strength a lot, and was also kind of short for the weight class. I mean, there was just literally that was what he was reminiscent of for me. I thought he did a really great job, and I'm happy to see him fight the way he fought last night. I mean, this is a version of this boxer that showing a different dimension that I think can, you know, do a little bit more against the fighters. He's a champ now. And someone was saying that he's not the best, but, you know, that remains to be seen, right? Like, all the top guys in the division are circling each other, and everyone's anointing Errol Spence, and I think even I believe he's probably the best just based on what I've seen. But it's still, he has his right to prove it, you know, instead of being disrespected. You know, he's willing to do the fight. He's fighting everybody. He's basically, you know, been competitive with everyone, not getting blasted out of there. So, you know, there's only 4 or 5 guys in this division who you could even name that you think could be the best. I did think that it was a close fight. My final scorecard was like 115, 113 or something like that. I had one round tied, and I think I scored it incorrectly. I gave it a 9-9. I'm not sure if it was supposed to be a 10-10. But, you know, if I had to give one of those draw rounds to someone, it was going to be Porter, not Garcia. But more recently, the most recent callers that were saying, like, something was off with Garcia, he just did just a little bit too little, a little more activity, just a little more, and he would have won that fight. That's the whole point. So maybe he does need to look at his corner, you know, maybe get a second trainer. I know he's never going to fight without his father. I mean, to be honest, anyone who thinks he'll ever do that doesn't. He said it himself. If his dad's not in his corner, he's not boxing. So maybe they just need someone to come tweak a couple things. His timing is beautiful, by the way. Saw that double left hook. I mean, there's so many good things about the way he fights that, I mean, I want to see Danny Garcia again. And I like that Broner fight that you guys were mentioning. I mean, he's not done unless he wants to be done. Just like Porter wasn't done unless he wanted to be done, et cetera, et cetera. Really quickly on the Terrence Crawford thing, Mike, I like him too, but he has the most to prove. You know what I mean? He has the most to prove. Everyone's dissing these fighters, but Terrence Crawford is the one with the most to prove at welterweight.
I agree. I agree because he just got there. So I totally agree with that statement.
Jamal in Florida, talk to us.
Yo, my bad. I had Shawn winning the fight. I thought he did his thing. I actually was happy he won. I'd rather see him against Spence just because of his style. I know he's going to bring the fight. I don't know what Danny would have did against Earl. He might have just got knocked out early, man. I didn't want to see that shit. But I got I think Crawford would lose against Keith, man. I don't think Crawford should be out here just poking his chest out. I think Keith on him. And when it comes as far as Earl, you know, Earl is the truth. I like Earl, but like Keith say, truth lies with him. You got to go through Keith. So that's my way of looking at everything. I want to see Tank fight Tevin. You need to let that happen. Tevin got a scrap. Let's see the fight. Other than that, that's my call. I'm out.
Jamal, thanks for calling in. I guess in the words of Casual, there's always a little bit of cultural bias, and he's bringing that Florida culture. You know, it's like Keith got it for Crawford, and he got it for Earl. But that's what's up. Yeah, man, it's that time, gentlemen. We finally come to the end of the show.
Hellified show today. I like this kind of shit.
What a long one.
Shout out to Mr. Porter for joining the show tonight.
Definitely shout out to all the listeners and everyone that called into the show. Final thoughts. I think pretty much all my good callers made the final thoughts. Like, you know, Cam Starr said something like Crawford's the one with the most to prove.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Just a lot of things that were already said. So what am I going to do? You know, find me on Instagram and Twitter at NSGTO. # we working.
My final thoughts are I agree with the callers too. You guys made some good points, and I just want to thank Mr. Porter again for giving his time tonight. And you can find me on IG at Gross1911 or on Twitter at Gross2312.
Yep, and my final thoughts. I mean, like Ness said, we pretty much covered everything that you can think of. So once again, congratulations to Shawn Porter. It's one thing to be a champion, but if you lose and come back to become a champion again, that's another thing. So congratulations to Shawn Porter, and thank you, Ken, for coming on the show. And last small little things, shout out to Steve Willis. That's like the craziest referee. There's those memes with him with his eyes open and he slides right in. So shout out to Steve Willis. Shout out to Willie over there on the UFC, and that Spider-Man game is pretty fun. So random thoughts, but that you can find me Fight IQ. Yo, that Cabbage Patch picture. Fight IQ Media on Instagram and Twitter. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hit the subscribe button. Jump on Patreon. We will be in Vegas this week, so please tune in. We got a whole bunch of special guests coming through. So thank you once again for tuning in the show.
Join us tomorrow, Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, Patreon. That's patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice for our weekly episode of Untitled. And obviously join us on the hunt for this 100,000 subscribers. We're on 84,815. That's 115 more than last night. So tell a friend, hit that thumbs up button. Future, present, past, doesn't matter, helps with the visibility of the show. 5-star review on iTunes also helps the TBV brand grow. And remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell, right? Because we do spontaneous shows. Mike loves to work nonstop, except when he's sleeping half the day. But
whoa, bruh. Okay. All right.
Hold on. Ness be falling asleep at the most crucial times, though.
Yo, I do. Yo, but I'm old, man. Like I'm entitled to just pass out like old people do. But arrivederci.
Peace.